12 other.
Hey, everybody out there watching right now, we'll be live in just 1 minute to play some Mothership Hullbreach and have a little bit of a conversation with some of the creators from this amazing anthology. We'll be with you in just one moment. And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy in the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways. Today, we are fusing two of my favorite ways to do that together. We're going to have a short conversation about the Hullbreach project with four of the people who are working on that out of over 20 people that are working on it. And then we are going to be sitting down to play one of the adventures from that anthology. It's all for the new first edition rules of Mothership that just funded late in last year. So it's all going to be completely new content set up for that. I'm super excited to hear more about it, to dive into it, and get to play a little bit today. Before we meet everybody and get to learn a little bit about them, just a couple things. If you are joining us for the first time, we do a lot of one-shots with designers and creators on the channel. Feel free to hit follow if you want. Go subscribe on YouTube if you want a couple of our VODs. Tomorrow during the day, we've got Aberrant Reflections, which is an OSR puzzle dungeon that we're going to be playing using our Down We Go house system. We also have Through the Void that we are funding over on itch right now. If you click on the games button, if you're watching on Twitch down below, or you can use the link on the screen to go check that out. It is a space old school style RPG, and I don't know if you're showing up today if you like those or not, but I mean, hopefully you do, because that's a huge part of what makes Mothership amazing. You can find the rest of our details down below, but you didn't come here to hear me talk about any of those things. You came here to check out Hullbreach and find out more about what it's all about. Let's meet some of the folks that we are going to be playing with and talking to today. We're just going to go across the screen as our viewers see it, so I have no idea what everybody else is seeing because I had to move everybody around because I put names on the screen like a dummy. Oh, we're getting raided by the Forge. Hey, the Forge is hopping in here. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Super excited to have you here. Emily, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and where they can find you online?
Hi, I'm Emily Weiss, and I wrote a couple things for Hullbreach, Escape Clause, and Breach of Contract, which is basically a bunch of legal horror themed things. My day job, I am a public defender attorney, so try to bring that into what I do. I don't have a huge online presence, but my Twitter is at Emaloudly, so EMILOUDLY.
Awesome. Let's hop over next to Ian. Ian, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online.
Hello, I am Ian Yusem. I write and publish games. I recently launched a publishing imprint to publish all those games under, called Anodyne Printware. I am currently running a Kickstarter for a large project that I am publishing called Hullbreach. And I'm also writing a couple articles for Hullbreach, one of which is called Manhunt, and it is a hack of Mothership where you play the aliens fighting against monstrous humans. And I'm also writing a short essay on different kinds of horror and utilizing those kinds of sci-fi horror subgenres in your games. You can find me online on Twitter at Ian Yusem. That would be the main thing. We also have a Hullbreach Instagram, which I think is at hull.breach. And yeah, also check us out on Kickstarter.
Awesome. If you are watching over on Facebook or YouTube, there's links to the Hullbreach Kickstarter in the description. There's also a link, Matt, if you point downward right below your face, there's a link right below Matt's face right there on the screen. I also just dropped it in the chat over on Twitch also for the 108 people who are watching right now. So thanks to World Animal for coming over and joining us. We always love it when you guys rate us. And so we're always excited to have you jump in. Let's meet Liam next. Liam, tell people who you are, what you do, and where folks can find you online.
Yeah, kia ora. My name's Liam Stevens. I whakapapa ngā te kahanuni kei te wāroa. I am now the face of Toa Tabletop, also a podcast host of Mud and Blood. And I do various bits and pieces, obviously podcasting, game reviewing, critiquing, all that sort of stuff. But also, I do a bit of freelance creating, as with Hullbreach, and cultural consultation, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much me. If I keep talking, we'll be here for 3 hours. You need to shut me up.
Awesome. Apparently we got the URL below Liam's face wrong. Eric, if you message that to me over on Discord, I'll drop the correct link directly in the chat. Also an updated in our links for the video later for anyone watching. With that said, let's meet our last panelist and player for the day. That's Matt. Matt, tell people who you are, what you do, and where they can find you online.
Yeah, hi, my name is Matt Umland. I'm based out of Baltimore, Maryland, and I do a variety of interactive creative stuff. I've spent a bunch of time doing museum development, and more recently I've started focusing on doing web development. I'm helping Ian do Hullbreach, kind of running project management stuff, kind of producery things, and helping do logistics and figuring out our supply chain issues, things like that. I wrote some things for Hullbreach, and really excited to see it come together. You can find me at mattumland.itch.io. I release tabletop stuff from time to time, and yeah, really excited to be here and game with everybody.
Awesome. I am too. Before we dive into playing, which I'm super excited about, let's learn a little bit more about this project. Because like I said, there's a ton of people, including y'all, who are contributing to it. I love anthology projects. It's a huge passion of us. We love collaborative world building and building projects for funding together with other people. I would love to see more projects like Hullbreach, and I would love to see 20 individual projects, because you're able to achieve so much more and create such a great thing that you can give players and introduce them to small and large creators alike, and give them a lot to play with in a system. So to start it off, I'd love to hear maybe from Ian, just kind of where this project and conversation started, and where did the idea for building out the Hullbreach project kind of originally come from, and what can people expect?
So I helped build out and organize a Discord server for a bunch of third-party creators. And back before ZineQuest 3 in 2020, we were trying to figure out ways to organize and help boost each other's projects. And we started talking a little bit about maybe doing some sort of anthology thing together as the next step. And so after ZineQuest, and we all supported each other and boosted each other's projects, and we all did pretty well, we started figuring out what that anthology might look like. We started organizing project organization. I got together a team of layout designers pretty early on, Eric Hill, Meredith Silver, and Lone Archivist. And we put together a style guide and started putting together timelines with me and Matt. And yeah, it just sort of evolved. We brought on a ton of really awesome third-party Mothership writers to contribute. We have 5 of some of my favorite artists working in RPGs. And it just sort of grew from a zine to like a small softcover book. And now it's a hardcover book that is over 200 pages long. And we've been working on it for the past year, and it's coming along pretty well.
Awesome. I love it. Ian and I first sat down about a year ago when you were just doing the drain to talk for the first time. So it's been amazing to see how the Mothership community has grown, but also the work that you and a lot of these other collaborators that you've done work with have done. And this is my first time getting to chat to everybody else. So I'm going to spend most of my time talking to them. So if you feel like I'm ignoring Ian, that's totally on purpose. Go check out that past interview and you'll get plenty of EM before this is done, I promise. Let's talk to a little bit of everybody else. For you, let's start with Liam. What initially attracted you to this project? They're like, we're going to do this huge big thing. We want you to be a part of this. What attracted you to that project?
Well, Ian reached out to me because I'd done a bit of work on Dissonant Whispers back in 2020. God, that was over a year ago now. So did Dissonant Whispers, and I'd done a Mothership module for that. So Ian reached out, and as soon as I heard about it, I was like, yes, sign me up. I'm one of those really useless creators that if I'm left on my own, I'll take forever to do something. But if I've got someone like Ian breathing down the back of my neck, I'll get it done real quick. So I was like, okay, yes, let's do it. I actually need to finish something for a change. As soon as I heard what was going on and who was involved and what was happening, I had to be a part of it. It was too awesome not to be.
Awesome. And what are you doing specifically within the context of Hullbreach?
I've done a couple of pieces for it. One is Terrifying Terraforms, which is a table, like a whole tool for generating worlds and drama and adventure seeds and stuff to play in the game. Initially, it was just supposed to be a D100 table because I thought that would be easy, and then Ian cracked the whip, and then it turned into like 5 D100 tables. But it's dope. I'm looking forward to it sort of getting out there, and it's now being incorporated into a website tool, which is quite cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also did Essence of Dread, which is an article on incorporating the other senses into horror, right? To really ground people into horror through discussing smell, taste, and things like that. Because a lot of us tend to focus on sight and sound because our media is largely audiovisual. So it's like, nah, if you want to scare your people, you need to make them feel like they're there. You tell them what they smell, what they taste. But also, again, thanks to prodding from Ian, there was discussion around, and also, what does that mean for an Android, right? Like, how do Androids incorporate that stuff? So, got to really explore that. I didn't do any adventures or anything because I'm not half as skilled as most of the people on this. I'm definitely a tools guy, a tools and advice guy. So I stuck with that, and I'm quite happy with it. I'm really proud of the work that I've done in this. I'm looking forward to people seeing it.
I love seeing that. I do love that y'all have taken a lot of the concepts and been like, we're putting this in a book, but also we are putting this online. I think that's a huge aspect of what this is going to generate and make things like Mothership is so easy to get up and running, especially if you got a book of adventures and other tools to pull from. But when you're able to toss some of those online and people can just hit a button and generate some of those things, it's going to take it into overdrive. So super excited about that. Matt, how about you? You mentioned you're kind of helping out with project management with some of the other projects. What are some of the other specific things that you're contributing to the overall process for Hullbreach?
Yeah, so in addition, actually, I'm going to sort of lead up the website part of that stretch goal because I've done some of the web development or like the website and some of those other things for the project, which I'm really excited about. And I think it highlights one of the things that's like so cool about the project in general is that there is a lot of collaboration. A lot of people work together in different ways. And that's kind of expanding now as we start doing more of the stretch goals. That's like really, really cool. I know I also wrote like a dungeon kind of adventure that turned out really, really cool. And I loved working with Ian on it because he really gave me great insights and I think really does a lot of good to really help people really hone in on the really like the solid bits that they have going on. And I really liked that. That kind of collaboration was cool. I look forward to seeing how that comes together more with now that we're doing the campaign end papers. It's like, we're going to actively take all these very different pieces and squish them together into a framework. And I think that's going to sort of generate a lot more kind of cool emergent collaboration that way as well. And yeah, so it's really fun and really cool. And I'm always excited to be able to do things that help me do lots of different stuff. So, I'm making contact with, printers and delivery people and making websites, and we're chatting about how the Kickstarter is going to look. And it's just been a really great opportunity to stretch. A lot of people, I think, have been able to sort of stretch into a lot of different skills, and it's cool, really
awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And other than Ian roping you in, what were some of the things that originally attracted you to the project?
I also did some stuff with Dissonant Whispers back then, and that was sort of my first introduction into the kind of collaborative making stuff in RPG community. So I got to know some of the folks that ended up on the same Discord channels, and I think I'm kind of a lurker on all those things, but I really I pay a lot of attention to the stuff that people are working on, and it sort of, as this sort of started to emerge, when Ian started mentioning it, I was just like, here's a timeline. Like, here's how we could start. Here's one timeline. It's great. It was like, it needs to be twice that long, because it's like, there's no way we can, But I just sort of started jumping in using that other piece of, like, that other experience that I have doing project stuff. So it was fun to be able to use that in what used to be like day job stuff that was never as fun as this. Like, this feels a lot more gratifying.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I just started doing more stuff as there was stuff to be done.
And well, so it's been mentioned a couple times, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to Dissonant Whispers into the chat also, too, so people can see it if they want to. It was an absolutely phenomenal project that came out of a lot of different things. You can get it over on the Tuesday Night Games website, but it was a collaboration between a ton of different people. Has content for the Zero Edition of Mothership, as well as Merkborg and a number of other system-agnostic adventures and other stuff that you can go check out that goes to a really phenomenal cause that came up at a very difficult time in the U.S. and global history, and so go check that out if you get a chance. Awesome, thanks so much, Matt. Emily, same two questions. What initially kind of attracted you to the project, and then what are some of the things that we can look forward to seeing you work on a little bit more?
So I've known Ian for, I think it'll be 6 years, like this year. So we were very close, and I wasn't involved in Dissonant Whispers, but we did work together on the first module that I wrote, which was Picket Line Tango, which I think came out last year. Gosh, who knows what time is anymore. But through that, we just sort of worked together on that. And then I knew that he wanted to do this anthology project. I didn't initially think that I would have the time to be on it, but he really encouraged me to, it would be great if you did like some legal horror stuff, because even though Picket Line Tango is like, great, I love Picket Line Tango, I love murder mysteries, which is what Picket Line Tango is, I hadn't written anything that was like drawing on my experience as being an attorney. And so I wrote Escape Clause, which is basically you are arrested and charged with a crime, and can you get yourself acquitted? Probably not, with the legal system being as it is. So it's sort of like a legal dungeon. And that was a ton of fun to write. Again, Ian really helped. It went through so many crazy drafts. Like initially it was like a one-on-one thing. But now it's basically like a dungeon where you try and think your way out of a situation. It's like a puzzle. Then I also am writing Breach of Contract, which is a collection of contracts for you to use in your Mothership game. And it's basically 6 different contracts that you can use in different situations. So like one of them is like you have some salvage, you bring it back. How do you claim your salvage? How do you get paid? One is like a letter of marque. So here you are. Here's your permission to be a pirate. And there's a scoreboard as well. Hopefully you don't get last on the scoreboard because you might get kicked off the piracy list. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And that's kind of how I got involved, just being buddies.
Awesome. I'd love to hear from each of you one thing that you're not working on that you're very excited about for the project. Let's go in a different order from last time. So Matt, why don't we start with you? What are you most excited about that somebody else is working on in this project?
Honestly, I think I'm most excited about the Manhunt hack, because I think that it's just a really fun riff on it. And the idea of being a monster is, I think in a game that's based around really being at the very bottom of the kind of food chain, I think it's fun to imagine that different. And I think it's also fun to imagine what horror might mean in that context, like doing horror. I think that's an interesting riff. And I'm really excited to see what comes of it, because I think it'll be great. I think it'll be cool.
Awesome. Love it. Emily, how about you? What are you most excited that you see somebody else working on?
So there's basically a toolbox that Taliesin wrote to how to write a murder mystery scenario. Like, how do you write an investigation scenario? When I was writing Picket Line Tango, that's basically, I was just like, how do I do that? How do I do it? It's really hard to do well. And I think that Talison's article, it does a really good job of laying out what you need to do and the kind of things you need to think about when you're not just writing one, but also running one. So I'm excited for that.
Love it. Liam, how about you? What are you most excited to see somebody else working on?
I'm actually really hyped for Emily's legal horror stuff, just because, like, I don't know about you, I've never seen an alien sort of horror in reality, but I've definitely signed a few contracts, and and they scare the bejeebus out of me every time. So the idea of having that added to the game is dope. I'm down for that.
I love that. Grounding horror in our own reality is such a huge part of that, and so I love it. Ian, I asked the same question for you, even though I know we're not hitting you with everyone. What's one of the things that's just kind of come out of this that's really surprised you or that you're really excited about?
One of our layout designers, Meredith, is writing an article on piracy called "The Osprey's Quarry," and one of the things that I like to accomplish in my own writing, and I like to see in other Mothership content, is something that is like an immediately usable, tool or adventure or something, but also something that sets you up for understanding how to apply, a concept to your game. It sort of like broadens the scope of what a Mothership game can be. And I think that Meredith's article is part like a specific usable thing. It's this crew of pirates that have this very specific method for targeting ships and stealing their water. It's sort of like a mosquito ship that like punctures into your hull. They have a really specific procedure that lets them get in and out quickly. And so the players might be victims in this scenario, or the players might join their crew and be pirates with them, which I think is really cool. But what really excites me about it is the way that it lays out how this is done, how piracy works in the world of Mothership. It lets wardens take that and run with it and be like, okay, I know how to do piracy now. I can run a piracy campaign based on this article, which isn't about running a piracy campaign exactly, but it has enough evocative stuff that I think you could take that and run with it.
Yeah, one of the things I love about Mothership is the fact that I think especially like Ian, your work, a lot of the people who are in the collective that you're talking about, who I know are contributors on this, is the fact that there's always kind of this mix a lot of the time of here's a tool, but it's also something that you can think about how you want to do this in your session even when you're not doing this. And I really love to see that kind of stuff growing out of the community, and love both, I think, from Tuesday night games for the Mothership, top to the entire community, the permission to say, like, we're creating in this space together, we're playing in this space together in that collaborative reality. I think Hullbreach is such a perfect articulation of what makes that community great and what's made Mothership such a phenomenal system for people to be able to play around in. And so I'm super excited to get it, but I'm also super excited about all those pieces because, again, they tick a lot of those same boxes for me. Like, I want something that gives me a solid example of this, but also gives me permission and the idea of how I can just inject this piece into the game that I'm playing. And so I was already pretty excited. Early backer at highest levels to make sure I get all the tearaway contracts also too. But want to encourage other people, if you haven't yet, I'll drop the link in the chat again in just 1 second, but it's also right below Matt's face. Go check it out, please. So with that said, I have one last question, and it kind of is part and parcel, but it's what I was just talking about. I also didn't prep y'all for it. But why Mothership, right? So each of you has kind of gravitated towards this system. I talked about it just a second ago, what I love about it. What is it about the Mothership system, or what is it about Mothership, period, maybe it's not the system, that really kind of attracts you in? We are going to make Ian start with this one, and we'll loop around before we hop into playing the game.
For me, it's a combination of the very particular kind of economic horror sci-fi with their canonless approach, where it feels super approachable to make content for it, while also giving you a pretty solid series of touchstones to draw from. Also, I would just say it's the first system that I saw doing pamphlet adventures, and that format just spoke to me so much. I love making really small, tight one-shots, and the first like 6 things that I did for Mothership were all pamphlet adventures, and hullbreach is almost kind of an excuse to just do a lot of that. It's, you know, some are a little larger, some are a little smaller, but it's like a bunch of pamphlet-ish sized things in a hardback.
Love it.
So
awesome. Emily, how about you?
So, I mean, Ian kind of stole my answer, but like whatever. Echoing whatever he said, but also I don't have a ton of time to like run games or play them, and Mothership is so easy to pick up, and just you can read the pamphlet, you can read the zine in like 30 minutes and you can run a game. And for someone like me who has, you know, I work a lot of hours and sometimes I just want to run a game for people, I can just pick it up and I can just go. And everything is really well organized, not just in the first party stuff, but in the third party community. A lot of things are just so easy to pick up, and just everything is right there. And you don't have to work too hard to prep anything. Everything is super minimal prep. So
awesome. Love it. Matt, how about you?
I think that it's like like perfectly sized, very much in the same, in both ways that both Emily and Ian mentioned. Like, it's very easy to play. I think that it's very approachable. It sort of promotes a lot of very approachably sized things. I also think that it is small enough to be like effective. Like, it gives you a really solid rule set, but it is that you can easily bolt a bunch of stuff onto it. And I think if you look at the kinds of things that get made, it runs a huge gamut of different kinds of genres and styles, and they all fit together because they have that sort of through line of a really, really solidly made system that sort of really supports what you want to do with it, but doesn't make you have to, like, I don't know, pick. Like, you know, I also think, just as a last little plug, like, it made, like, playing the game, I usually warden it, so I'm really excited to play today, but like, I think as a warden, the game made me feel like a player. Like, I felt like, especially because there's so much content that so much of it is so like tightly written and like very made to be approachable. Like, I just get to play the game. I never have to like stress about having to be prepped. I just read the things and do it, and like, I get to be a player again. So that's another
awesome.
sort of little, yeah.
Love that. Liam, last word on this. What kind of originally drew you to Mothership?
Well, Mothership's like a really important game for me in a strange way. I've been playing RPGs for like nearly 30 years. Oh man, I'm old. For a long time, and I grew up playing like the 100 games, Call of Cthulhu and BRP, sort of RuneQuest, stuff like that. And for a long time, those have been like my bread and butter. And then I always resisted the OSR because it was all this D&D clones, right? And then when I got introduced to Mothership, it combined like the D100 stuff that I really liked and I was familiar with rules light stuff, which I also like. It's really accessible and easy. But then also, like, one of my favorite movies ever is Event Horizon. And as soon as I read the player's survival guide, I was like, this is that. This is all I need ever again to play so much of that. And I'm a huge horror guy, so it's like it's firing on all cylinders. But then also the big thing is on our podcast. As soon as we interviewed Sean, one of the creators, I was like, yeah, when you get someone who's genuinely interesting, genuinely intelligent, really good at what they do, but most importantly, we have a term in New Zealand called GC, and the C is a swear word, so I won't use that. A very good person. It makes it like, yeah, like it's a very easy thing to get behind and endorse. And then through Mothership, I got introduced to the OSR in the broader sense, beyond just the retro clones, and it's massively changed my hobby ever since. So it's that game I have to keep coming back to. It's quite an important one in my RPG history. I just love it. I just love it. It's gritty. It's horror. It's D100. The best die type there is. You know, it does everything I want.
Awesome. Love it. I'm super excited to play with all of you, which is what we're going to do right now. We're going to be playing some Mothership. We're going to be playing one of the adventures from it. Ian, we'll talk about safety rules in just one second, but why don't you tell us a little bit about the adventure we're going to play and tell the audience anything they need to know about what we're going to watch, and then we'll hit safety tools and dive in.
So we are playing an adventure from Hullbreach. It is called Vibe Chetty. It was written by Joel Hines, who created The Desert Moon of Karth. And it's a really, really cool slasher horror adventure, which is a genre that I think has not been explored much in Mothership. And I think there's a lot of cool, like, genre fiction, but sci-fi stuff that you can do. In terms of a content warning, for all of you viewers, you should know that as a slasher horror scenario, there's a fair amount of, body horror, gore, some body mutilation, and also drug use, which will come up probably very quickly, I imagine. Yeah. Anything else you think I should mention, Tony, or is that?
No, I think that's great. I popped a couple of the spreads from the update you had put out on the screen next to us as you were talking about it, so people could get a sense of what some of the look of it's like. I'm just super thrilled with everything that's coming out of the project. Also, Jeremy Childry in chat says, if you're an adversarial DM, which Jeremy is, you're always playing the game. And so, with that said, we are gonna hop in to play it in just 1 second, but we use lines, veils, and the X card here on channel unless the system we're using dictates another set of tools as just a safety toolkit. Helps us kind of define the game we're gonna be playing and give us some limitations on that. Also, too, lines are things that may happen in the world of our game but don't happen in the play of our game, so they're things that are off limits. With strong line against sexual violence on the channel, and we'll have some other ones that we'll talk about in just 1 second. We also there's veils, which are things that may happen in the course of play but are handled in a certain way, which may be fade to black, flash forward, that we only address them within a certain mindset or treat them very lightly. And then the X card is the ability for any of us at any point in time to say, type message X, which will pause the game, identify what the issue is. Nobody has to explain why they don't like it, and then we're going to move forward in a different direction without that same content. It could be because of confusion, because of distaste, because of disagreement. Any of those things are fine. You'll just type, hit, or say X. Last thing anybody watching needs to know is that we use what we call the open door policy. It's a little bit broader than what some people see. Usually that just means people can get up and move away from the screen if they need to, which is absolutely still true. It also means that people on our streams may eat, drink, have personal realities that they need to take care of, like a cat or a teenager walking through the room and needing something. All those are normal things, and they should be normal things. We should let our players take care of themselves, and you should take care of yourself while you're watching. Also, so if any of those things are going to bother you that Jeremy mentioned, these may not be the stream for you, but that's just kind of our general rules. So with that said, does anybody have any lines or veils they want to add, or Jeremy, do you want to note any of the ones that, not Jeremy, Ian, do you want to note any of the ones that we've already established?
Yeah, so we're definitely going to have a hard line through any kind of sexual violence, and we are going to veil other kinds of consensual sexual contact.
Awesome. Anybody else have any lines or veils that they want to note now?
Nope.
Cool. Remember with that X card, you can always add them in. Feel free to message Ian, message our group chat if you need something to add to that, to let us know. We also are going to be playing this adventure quickly. So if it seems like Ian is pacing us very fast, forcing us to make decisions, he absolutely is. And that's all been agreed upon up in advance. And I do want to say, like Stan had said it in chat, but especially when you're doing horror, lines and veils are important because players need to be able to relax into actually experiencing horror and know that they can trust other people at the table to not go past those things. Otherwise, we usually can't give ourselves over to the mindset that's needed to fully engage in it. So I would say they're always important, but when playing horror, having toolkits in place is extra helpful. And so with that said, Ian, I'm going to hand things over to you to take us into, is it Vibe Chetty?
Vibe Chetty.
Vibe Chetty? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Vibe Chetty.
Before we jump in, I just want to do a quick rundown on mechanics because we will be playing Mothership First Edition. So if anyone is not familiar, It works very much the same way as Mothership 0E. Checks, saves, and skills are all the same. It's a roll under system. You're adding a skill to relevant check. Some changes are damage and HP numbers are generally lower, but combat is more deadly because of the wound system. So in 0E Mothership, you had one big health pool, and in 1E Mothership, you have a few smaller health bars. And when you lose a health bar, you lose a wound, and then we're going to roll on a wounds table, which is like a critical damage table, which will have some very nasty effects on it. And then once you run out of wounds, you will roll on the final wounds table, which will leave you likely dead or very nearly dead. The other major change is to the stress and panic system. So whenever you fail any check or save, you're marking one stress. You take a stress. And so that's on you guys as the players here. I'm not going to be, I might, the first few times maybe I'll remind you, but you should be, whenever you fail any check or save, give yourself a stress. And then also whenever I call for a panic check, works a little differently in this system. You're going to roll 1d20. And if you roll under your current stress, you are panicking. And then we'll reference that number that you rolled on the panic table. And that's what happens to you.
Awesome. Cool.
That pretty much covers it.
Awesome.
Any questions mechanically before we jump in?
Sounds good. Oh,
you may have just said this, but my brain also may have just dropped it out of the side of my head. We talked about this last night. We played a different Mothership engine game. Do you typically just trigger panic checks when you think it's narratively appropriate, or do you do it? Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to make sure.
Okay, cool. So let's get into it then. So you are all college-ish age or older offspring of the mega corporation ultra elite. So you are party animals, just throwing your money and free time at whatever crazy, sci-fi stuff you can get your hands on.
yeah.
You are currently aboard one of your parents' ultra leisure yachts, the Scorpio Rising. And you are pre-gaming for a major party at your favorite hangout spot, the Hodder Forest Reserve Habitat, which is a out of commission and now condemned space station. It is a domed habitat that was built to be sort of a luxury resort. But you all know that there was this mysterious accident that occurred years ago that killed dozens of workers, and the station had to be abandoned. But you guys all go there to drink and take drugs and party away from the watchful eyes of your bodyguards and parents back on S-class stations. So why don't all of you go around and introduce your characters, your name, pronouns, a little bit about yourselves and the class you'll be playing, and also what you are doing aboard the Scorpio Rising. Tony, would you mind starting us off?
Sure. I'm playing as Charles Chalk Henson. Chalk is the tennis pro at the club that a lot of your parents go to and participate in, and has become friends with the group generally, even though he comes from a slightly lower class background because of good tips and stuff. He also lives kind of a life of opulence compared to his parents. He also is usually seen hanging out with his surrogate best friend / sibling, who is also his hollow doubles partner, who is Clay Lovinson, who he thinks of as a surrogate twin. but is really just a mildly hacked, very, very simple AI with whatever limitations the GM puts on this, that basically is a training partner that he can play hollow tennis with people against for doubles. He's always got his hyper dense tennis racket slung over his shoulder, and usually is like going back in forth with Clay. He really likes it when people call them the twins. I don't know if anybody actually does or not. And so that is Charles Chalk Henson. What else did you want me to hit? They.
I think that's good. We can that covers it. We'll get into what everyone's doing once everyone's been established. All right, Emily, who are you playing?
I'm playing Tabitha Spelt. I am basically everyone's drug connection. I'm the old money black sheep of the family. But I have a really awesome Bowie knife. Like, it's the best knife you've ever seen. I'm a teamster, and I know a lot about chemistry and pharmacology, and that's pretty much it. I also have enough hypermeth for everybody. Just ask.
Matt, who are you playing?
I'm playing Sancto Knox, the android child of People's Choice Award-winning slick evangelist Bishop Knox, famous slickware televangelist. I'm the honorary ambassador of faith for the Artificial Lifeform Congress. But my day job, I'm sort of a communication specialist, marketing tech, slickware producer. And I'm always interested in being around interesting things that I can videotape with my built-in crucifix-shaped camera that is embedded into my chest.
Sweet. All right, Liam, how about you?
Yeah, I'm playing Richard Dick Smythe, who was once the prom king at high school. It's the highlight of his life, and he's never forgot it. A couple of years on, his father is the owner of a very lucrative private sort of security company, PMC sort of contracts, that real dodgy stuff that everyone really feels good about. And so as a result, he's been sort of funded to go through military college, like officer sort of cadet training, with the idea that he'll get paid into some sort of special forces unit just long enough that he can then use that to go into private security work. But it's not necessarily his natural calling. It's what daddy wants him to do. And he's still just trying to relive his best days as a track and field star at high school, which is why every opportunity he gets to hang out with his old friends rather than the macho guys that all see him as the fake he is at college, he takes up.
Sweet. Does he go by Dick, or is his middle name, is his full name Richard Dick?
No, it's yeah, people call him Dick.
Okay.
He probably would prefer if they didn't, but that's what everyone calls him.
Okay.
All right, cool. So you are all on the Scorpio Rising, but you are not alone on the Scorpio Rising. You are there with 5 of your other friends. There is Hera. She is a jock. She is playing fetch with her pet Robo Gerbil. She is smacking a baseball with her bat across the corridors of the ship, and the gerbil is going to retrieve it. She is currently being serenaded by Billy, who is drunkenly playing guitar and singing to her. She does not seem super interested in it. You are also joined by Jamal, who is burying his face in his copy of Infinite Jest and rearranging and reorganizing his med kit that he brings everywhere and in all situations. You hear some bubbling sounds from Nolan's room, and his door slides open to just a giant wave of smoke from his smart bong. He is packing a inflatable pool mattress and a blowtorch, and he won't explain why he decided to bring these items on this particular.
I told him to.
And then there's also Yvette, who is wasted and is trying to get everyone to join in on her drinking games.
Is she actually wasted, or is she just like so totally wasted?
It's maybe hard to tell. Like, she is a pretty heavy drinker, and she can hold her liquor, you know.
Okay.
But like, you definitely see her taking some shots.
Okay.
So yeah, you're all hanging out, partying, pre-gaming, and you are discussing mourning perhaps this being your last journey to Hotter Forest, your favorite party spot, because it is slated to be condemned and will be scrapped next week. And you are heading there on a particularly interesting night. This is the anniversary of the incident that got all these workers killed.
What could possibly go wrong?
And shut down the station. And some of your pals are swapping stories that they have heard about this place. So let me see one of those. So Hera, in between taking practice swings of her bat, tells you that she heard that somewhere deep in the station, some of the original construction crew were abandoned in cryosleep during the rushed evacuation, and they're still in there waiting for someone to wake them up. Let's see. Jamal pokes his head up and says that he thinks he's heard rumors. He's not particularly believing of this one, but some people say that the incident which caused the accident created a wormhole in space-time, which reopens yearly on its anniversary, letting in creatures from other dimensions.
Have we ever been here on the anniversary before?
No, you've been here probably several times, but never on the anniversary.
Okay. Been holding out on us, Jamal. If you had told me that before.
I mean, you've heard some of these rumors. I feel like some of these are not new to you. Like, there's from in your friend circle of rich assholes. These things circle around.
This is the ongoing theory crafting process.
I've been telling you guys you should come here just to feel the vibes on the anniversary. Now you're gonna fucking see what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yvette comes over to you, Tabitha, and is carrying 2 handles of vodka and says, once we get there, we have to take 43 shots before we leave to honor the ghost
Absolutely.
of the
100%.
43 workers who died here.
You're so right, Yvette.
How many can I get you slated for? How many you got to do your share.
I mean, how many of us are there? Like 10?
There's 9 of you.
There's 9 of us. Well, we know that Jamal is just gonna Jamal, man. Got to get that guy some Camus or something. I'll do 10.
All right. She has a little notepad. Marks you down for 10 shots.
If people are gonna chicken out, I'll pick up the slack. I'm good for it.
Cool. The last rumor that someone will throw around. Billy improvises. He's playing the only chord that he knows on his guitar and starts making up some lyrics about the dolphins that still swim in the lake on the on the habitat, and he's trying to like compare the serenity of the dolphins with the beauty of Hera, and it's mangled and like nothing rhymes very well, and it's not a good attempt.
I make sure to tape this, for future uploading on SlickTube.
Of course.
As a musician, I'm in this meme and I don't like it. Because Dick is that guy, he doesn't believe any of the rumors. He reckons that this was a working class union strike that got out of hand, as they all do, because they can't, the working classes don't know how to do these things, and it's all just rumors made to hide the fact that we can't trust the lower classes.
Dick, I'm telling you the vibes. The
Yeah.
wormhole.
Well, certainly one of the rumors must be true.
Yeah,
And I intend to be there. Of course. I mean, certainly there's some event that occurred that spawned all of these rumors. I mean, this is how legends begin. They begin from the seed of something true, and I will be there to film it.
Look, all that matters is you still got the footage from junior year, right? When I won the race, right? You got that? You got
Of course
that?
I do. Of course.
All right, that's the only event that matters, mate. The rest of them, no. I adjust to the tiara.
Yes.
As you're talking, your automated computer system, which is piloting your ship, there's no human at the helm, goes ding. We are now arriving to your destination. And you can see on the viewport out the side of your the window, you're probably in some sort of like communal hangout area with very like 70s mod looking like lounge chairs and things.
How quaint.
So you can see a view of the station. So it is a flat piece of terrain with a hemispherical dome on top of it. You can see it looks overgrown. There are there's tons of vegetation. There's like terraformed hillocks and things. You can see a little sparkle of water, which is the lake that you're all familiar with. And you are now approaching the docking bay. Is there anything that anyone would like to do before you arrive?
Rip a rail. I'm definitely an uppers kind of guy.
Okay.
Do you want,
Yeah.
do you want some meth?
Sure.
All right, I'll give you some hyper meth.
Okay.
1 dose.
Well, we're doing it.
All right.
I say my prayers. Like I always do.
So, Liam, I don't have any particular ability for hypermeth. But would you say that you are a regular user?
I mean, I work in partially in drug and alcohol sort of field. I can role play a meth user all day. Don't you worry. I got this. But definitely recreational user. Like regular as in once a week, maybe.
Okay.
Not daily.
Okay, so I'll just leave that to you. I'm not gonna do any mechanical stuff, but so you're on hypermeth.
Right.
So do with that what you will.
You're welcome.
Tony, anything you want to do before we arrive?
No. I think I'm set.
Cool. Okay, so the Scorpio Rising pulls into the docking bay, and it aligns with the umbilical that will let you traverse down into the station. Everyone gets off, and you find yourselves in the old familiar faux wood paneled interior. Sort of picture like a very dated looking like theme park entry point with like ticket booths and that sort of stuff, but you just hop on over all that. This place is covered in spray paint tags, littered with discarded hypo syringes, broken bottles, and condoms. It is, truly a place for young vagrants. Over the big airlock that separates the docking bay from the rest of the ship, there is a big word, the big word condemned, written in faded reflective red stencil. And you can cross through and out into the park proper. You're familiar with the interior of this place, basically where stuff is. The first location you will come to is the old dance pavilion. And if you head left from there, you will get to the lake. To the right is the cabin. And then there is a dense forest beyond. You also know that there are maintenance tunnels ringing the outside of the station. You'd have to go back out to the docking bay and head into the maintenance area. So imagine a ring around the whole station. You generally don't hang out there. You in your past experiences, you have all stayed inside the dome proper.
Can I ask a clarification?
Yep.
Have we ever been here when it's condemned?
Yes. Every time you've been here has been when it was condemned.
Got it.
Like it's been condemned as long as we've been coming. Now they're actually doing something about that condemnation.
Right. Yep. They're actually you heard word from, one of your parents' construction holdings that they're gonna demolish the place.
Well, then I recommend we make for the maintenance tunnels. It's the one place none of us have ever been before. The one place that has never been documented or seen by anyone who didn't work here. This is where the secrets will be found.
I like the way you think, but we have an order of business that's very important we have to take care of first. And that is 43 shots of vodka.
Yes, of course.
Yvette hands you one of the handles and commands you to get going and share it around.
Commands?
Everyone just kind of starts going their own way. They're, frolicking, running around. Some people want to check out the cabin. Hera goes off that way, followed by Billy. Yvette gets sort of far ahead of everyone and yells, last one to the lake is a rotten egg. Jamal immediately sits down and continues reading his book and is sort of hanging out around the entrance area. And Nolan just kind of meanders off towards the dance pavilion. What do y'all want to do?
How what's the temperature like here? Is there a fake sort of atmosphere? Is it warm? Is it, what's it like?
It is, I would say, humid. The station is still functional. So there is artificial gravity. The life support systems are functional. But, given it's sort of a, life-sustaining thing for these plants, they're watered. It's almost like a jungle, I would say, in here.
Okay. Then I'm 100% down to also run towards the lake. I reckon
Cool.
Time to go skinny dipping. It's gonna be great. What could go wrong?
Sweet.
Let's go see some dolphins.
It's true.
So
we do need footage for the music video.
So part of Chalk and Clay's routine every single time they come here is they've got a series of trick shots they like to try off of at a number of different locations that are a lot of bouncing the ball off of different surfaces and seeing if the other person can return it or not. So he starts to kind of warm up for that at the dance pavilion before moving on to the next one.
Sweet.
I'll
Emily,
go to the lake.
or,
Go ahead.
Tabitha, and Sancto. What are y'all doing?
Tabitha is going to pour as many shots of vodka as she can in the little shitty plastic shot glasses she has, and give them to Nolan and Sancto. I'm going to try and get Chalk to take some of these as well. Like, this needs to happen. But then I'm also going to try and make Jamal.
Every time Chalk misses, he'll take a shot.
Sick. That's exactly what I needed to hear. And I'm also going to stick near Jamal because that med kit has some stuff in it that I do want. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Getting people drunk. Taking some shots myself.
I will dutifully do my duty to do a shot. I'm assuming that alcohol and drugs affect me the same way.
Do you? And that's up to you, I think. Do you want them to affect you the same way?
No.
No. Okay. So they do not.
I'll do 8 shots. I'll just
okay.
Like,
yeah. You just knock them back.
I'll do my part. Absolutely.
Do you think that they like? Do you have a sense of taste? Do you think?
I think I am able to perceive taste enough to be able. I mean, I would be very bad at understanding the human condition if I didn't understand what it's like to taste things. But I think that I don't like taste it. I just have like whatever, like spectral analysis. That's like
got it. So what happens to the alcohol in your body?
I would say that it gets sort of just like filtered and diffused, and it honestly just goes through. It's like it's a system that is designed to emulate human bodily functions.
Got it.
To make because it's important as an android that I make humans feel at ease when they're in my presence.
The best news is that means we can get this vodka back later.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. I have it until my
but don't worry,
tank
it still
fills,
counts.
and then I can empty it.
You're a walking, talking keg. That's what you are. We can fill you up, and you're good later.
That's why we keep them around.
There's definitely been parties where we have filled you with alcohol before we go, so that we can get it back later once we're inside.
Yes, absolutely.
We smuggled it into like the movie theater.
Yes.
I hate to think what that video looks like.
It's all on video, of course. Anyway, so I'll do that, and then I'm going to the docks are where I would enter the maintenance tunnels. You said
the docks. Yeah, if you want to head back to the docks,
I'm just going to go see if I can find the entrance to the maintenance tunnels.
Yeah, I mean, you know where they are. They're like doors that kind of almost like blend in. They're not meant to be like seen by customers, but yeah, you spotted them on the way in.
Okay. Then after confirming that they're there, I will also make my way to the lake. Okay. I think my current objective is to expand the B-roll for the dolphins in the lake music video.
Cool. So Dick and Sancto, you're heading to the lake. Yvette got a head start. So it takes you a bit to get there. Let me just double check. I don't think this place is massively big. It maybe takes like 5 minutes to get from the entrance to the lake. You have to pass through the dance pavilion to get there. The dance, just briefly, you're familiar with this, but the dance pavilion is a gazebo that is currently holding dozens of human-shaped figures draped in white sheets. Someone's probably dared someone else to look under there previously. You know that they are eerily human-looking dance androids that are now totally frozen.
Does that mean you're banking off all your tennis shots off of their like heads and stuff?
Yeah, so there's a couple maneuvers I do in the dance pavilion. One is the octagon, which is just on the ceiling, trying to get an octagonal banking pattern. I've tried to do the double octagon. I've never gotten it. And then the other one is called Do-Si-Do, and that is a complete circuit of every single person. It's actually a multi-hit process where I basically play octuples against the 8 dancing robots underneath here, having to bounce it off each one of them, catch it, spin, hit it to another one, bounce it off, and I can't repeat until I've gone through the entire circuit.
Sweet. So, are you making your way to the dock once you see everyone running through there?
After I finish those 2 things, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And I have.
So yeah, it's sort
I'm
of
on my
like
way
a
down there.
slow, meandering, the group is sort of spreading out, talking to each other, doing different things, but it's this sort of amoeba of a collection of people who's moving generally in the direction of the dock. But Dick, you get there first. You said you were heading straight in there. You look around. You don't see Yvette. And you're sort of maybe poking around, looking to see where she went. When you notice a torn bit of pink fabric that she you knew she was wearing earlier on a tree right by the lakeside, and it is covered in blood.
Okay, and it's just me there. I've found this fabric.
Yep. I think Sancto is like close behind.
Okay. I reckon my guys sort of ask, like, you wouldn't immediately assume something's gone wrong, especially when you're in the throes of meth smashing the psyche.
Sure.
So he'd probably get a bit frustrated with it, and it was Yvette, right? Was her name?
Mhm.
Yeah. Be like, yeah, what the fuck, Yvette? Where are you? Like, the lake's fucking that way. What the fuck's this shit? Don't be fucking with me. Fuck.
Yeah, you're calling around. No one responds.
Is there something
Sorry,
wrong?
Tony.
Is there something wrong, Richard?
For some reason, Richard caught me by surprise. Yvette's just like, she's just gone. She's playing games. Look, she's got that stuff on the tree.
Perhaps Yvette needed to violently vomit after all of the vodka that she just consumed. It wouldn't be the first time.
She hasn't consumed any. The liar.
She's definitely been drinking. You saw her drinking on the
Not here.
on the
It
yacht.
doesn't
Yeah.
count till we're here.
No.
Yvette's pregame is like the rest of our finale.
Look, so because Dick actually has wilderness survival, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna find this bitch, and he's like gonna look for a track and see if he can find her, because he thinks she's playing hide and seek, and he's like, I'm gonna find her and show her up. She just didn't want to challenge me to a swim across the lake.
I'll back you
Sure.
up, and I'll turn on my light as you go. The light on my camera.
Okay, cool.
And with all of the confidence that Fair 42 and a lion of hypermeth can muster, I'm walking, and toxic masculinity, I'm walking confidently into the forest.
Yeah, so you see sort of like a trail of like bloody scraps of clothes. It looks like there are like drag marks. And it sort of like curves around, heads back towards the lake, and then you see the impression of like heavy boots walking into the lake.
Just to clarify, she was not wearing heavy boots, right?
No.
Okay. Didn't think so.
Why doesn't everyone make me a fear save?
Oh, that did not go well.
Everyone is caught up at this point. You're at the lake. You've been sidelined by Dick's investigation.
I failed that.
Whoever fails takes 1 stress.
Perhaps Yvette has been injured. Maybe there's another person here that was providing her with some aid.
Yeah, right. Sure thing, Robo Brains. And the other person went and walked into the fucking lake.
I walk over and I put my feet in these big footprints just to see how much bigger this person might be than I am.
They are very sizable, significantly larger than your footprints.
I mean, whoever it is, they're not tiny.
They're at least a basketball player.
I bet she has like some boyfriend out here, and this is just an elaborate ploy to get out of the thing she literally stuck me with. I can't believe this. Now I have to take responsibility for something in my life. Unbelievable.
It is shocking behavior to assume that Yvette would trust any of us to take responsibility for anything.
So, okay, so what's around the lake? We can go back to the dance pavilion, but there's like forest as well?
Yeah, so there are 4 paths leading away from the lake. There's the dance pavilion. There's a path that leads to the cabin. There's a path that leads into the forest. And another path that has a sign that says park personnel only on it.
So we just see the footprints going into lake. We don't see them coming from anywhere.
You don't see them coming. I mean, it's a large lake. Do you want to walk around like the whole outside of the lake?
I think that would be wise if we were to see what, if something exited the lake.
Hold on, I got an idea, and I throw with the as in a project Clay out to the top of the lake as far away as he'll go, which I identified as half of like the size of half of a tennis court is his range, because that means we can play together wherever. Now I would be 100% honest. This is not something this AI does, but this is 100% how Chalk does it. But I'm going to ask him what he sees out there and have him look down.
It's murky. He reports, yeah, I mean, you hear it's a copy of your voice, so it's just like
100%.
Can't see anything, bro.
All right, come on back. just I tap it and he like pops back over beside us.
Very good, Chalk.
There is a pier, a dock that like projects out into the lake, and there is something on the pier.
What's on the pier?
Do you go walk onto the pier?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll go.
Cool. There is a boombox.
Yes.
That is like integrated into the like thing. Like it is like it's almost like, a Disney attraction. Like it's sort of like it's meant to look like a boombox that's there, but it's actually part of the
There's no way to say anything.
That's annoying. Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna look around and see if the boombox has any kind of like interface. Like maybe it's part of some sort of system that isn't, that it doesn't, yeah. Like
Sure.
It
it has standard boombox buttons as eject, play, pause, rewind, fast forward, that kind of thing.
Let's push play.
Okay. You push play and you are almost immediately deafened by distorted surf rock that is just blasted out and sort of echoes through the park.
I start rocking out.
Okay.
I 100% flip my tennis racket around and air guitar it a little bit.
Say that again, Tony. Sorry.
I said I 100% flip my tennis racket around and I air guitar it a bit. And of course, Clay does the bass part. And so,
of course.
Cool.
So are we here with all of our friends, or are our friends scattered as well?
Everyone else, it's just you four.
Okay.
Everyone else you're not inside of them.
Gotcha. After rocking out for a bit, I want to stop and eject whatever's in the boombox. I'm assuming that we've come here before, and when we pressed play, it hasn't been distorted like that, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it has ever worked before.
Oh.
And also, you press stop and it doesn't stop.
Okay.
Great. First
Eject
we lose
doesn't
event,
work?
and now we're stuck with shit sounds.
Okay.
I thought you humans liked rock and roll music.
I mean, I love this tune, but I would really rather get some Beach Boys or something.
Now that you're this far out, you can see something on the lake. It looks like a paper boat, and there appears to be something in it.
How far away is it?
It's like maybe 20 feet away from where you are, on the center of the lake.
Okay, it's like a paper boat. So is it like paper sized, or is it like a boat sized boat?
No, it's small, paper sized.
All right. Screw it. I'm going.
You're gonna swim in the lake. All right.
I'll take my
cool.
shoes off.
Okay.
That was a very loaded. You're going to swim in the lake? That was...
Yep.
Okay.
In
Cool.
the lake?
Wait, what's wrong? I mean, we've swam in the lake
I'm drunk.
so many times.
Sure. You're drunk, swimming in the lake. Sounds
Yep.
good. Okay. You
Great
dive in.
idea.
Do you put what are you doing with your knife and your hyper meth?
The meth is gonna stay on the pier, and I think I'm gonna put the knife in my mouth.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Good. Okay. You swim out there. You find a waxed paper boat, and sort of stuck inside of it, there is a flare gun.
Yes. Yeah, I take that. I take the boat and the gun and paddle my way back.
So you're drunk and like this thing is bobbing on the water. You're swimming over to it. Why don't you make me a speed check to see if you're able to successfully recover the gun?
That's gonna be a nearly crit fail, but just a regular fail.
Okay. It starts. You bobble it. It comes out. Oops. I'm setting timers for things.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
That's great. So here,
Great time to be vulnerable in the water.
3 stress.
It starts sinking. You can still see it though.
Yeah, dive. Let's go.
You dive for it? Cool. Okay. So you're diving for this flare gun. You get it. You start swimming up.
Sweet. They could go wrong.
Something grabs your leg.
Yep, of course.
I lean over to Dick and I go, what's her longest record for holding your breath underwater before?
Yeah, so all of you see Tabitha dive underwater and then nothing for a little bit. What are all of you doing?
Filming.
Okay.
I love my friends.
So knowing this is being filmed and believing I'm God's gift, I take off my gear. I hand over Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People expanded edition. Yep, I hand that over, and I'm going to dive in looking for a really good dive too, like a really good
excellent form.
Sweet.
Yeah. And before I do it, I turn around. I'm like, make sure you catch this, and then he goes.
Certainly.
Okay, so
I'll add it to your file.
Can I stab? What's grabbed me? Can I stab it?
do you want to? You can attempt to stab it.
Is it like a vine or is it like a hand?
I mean, you're underwater. It's kind of hard to tell.
I'm gonna stab it.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Why don't you roll combat?
Okay. This is my worst stat. No.
Okay.
Nope.
You like slow motion, just sort of slash around with your Bowie knife. In return, let's see what happens. Okay, cool. It lets go, whatever it is.
Yes, it was intimidated.
And you shake free. You come up for air.
Do I
Jake,
still have the gun?
you're sort of diving down. It's kind of murky and hard to see. And you maybe just catch you see Tabitha's feet kicking up towards the surface.
Cool. Seeing yeah, okay. In that case, I'd be like, well, what you mean? What you been up to? Like, yeah, like yeah, my guy's sort of he's just swimming out here trying to be a hero. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just rocking up. So how far underwater are we talking here? Like,
I mean, it depends how far you dove down. I mean, like, did you?
Yeah.
So you tell me.
Oof, okay. I'm pretty sure Dick's just going to keep going. He's going to try and now his goal is just to get to Tabitha at this point. So that's his focus. He's just focused on her. He doesn't think there's anything else in the lake. He's very, tunnel vision.
Okay. So Tabitha's up there, but you do see a skeleton sort of glinting from the bottom of the lake.
Okay. I want to go to the surface because that's the sort of thing where you breach the surface and go, yo, there's a fucking skeleton down here.
Both of you make me fear saves as you surface.
Okay.
Also, remember, I should have called this out last time. You both have disadvantage on your fear saves because you're in proximity of an android.
Right.
Matt, I would like you to roleplay that disconcertedness.
Certainly.
Whenever they say whatever they're going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I failed the fear save. So instead
Okay.
of being like, yo, it's like, holy shit, there's a skeleton.
You're telling me a skeleton grabbed me?
That's excellent news.
Um,
That's excellent news. It means that there is something going on here. I had a feeling that we weren't alone, and now there is something, and we will discover it. Good
I
work.
don't want to fucking hear it right now, okay? I don't want to.
I gotta get out of here.
Tabitha, did you fail?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Much do
Liam,
I
you just
take?
take the 1 stress.
Okay.
Emily, you take 4 stress. Something had a hold of your leg.
Yeah, it was a skeleton.
And then it let go.
Bad. No thanks.
I'm trying to help them out of the water as they start to get back towards the dock.
I will also help them when they're at the dock.
Okay. So you're pulling them out of the water. I think Sancto, you notice something on the far side of the lake, like moving into the trees. But it's just like you catch it for like a split second.
I'm going to immediately take off running in its direction.
In its direction? Okay. So you have to run.
I see someone.
Okay. So you have to.
Okay,
do you want to run directly? Do you want to swim in the lake? That's
No.
the most direct path. You run
No.
around. Okay. So
I know that I'm faster on foot.
sure. You reverse course. Go back off the docks. Have to go around the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So you get there to where it was, but it's taking you some time. Do you just want to chase off into the woods?
I'm going to pause and look for clues at the entrance of the woods to see what it is, where it might have gone. I'm not going to just charge headlong in.
Sure.
Lights on, by the way.
Yeah, there are big, heavy boot prints that you can see pretty easily, like on the sandy shore, but then they disappear into the trees.
Do I have the flare gun and the piece of paper now?
Yes,
Can I look at the piece of paper? Is it just blank?
it's blank. Yeah.
God damn it. Who wants a flare gun? My knife is way too cool for me to give up, but I have a flare gun now. Anyone wants?
I'll take
Do
it.
a flare gun.
All right.
All right, what do y'all want to do?
I will announce that I found the trail. The answers we seek are this way.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, should we tell everybody else?
Yeah, probably.
The longer we delay, the more the large booted thing, the further the secret goes.
I have a question for Dick.
Yes.
Those skeletons didn't happen to have boots on, did they?
That's a great question. Did they? Did they know no
they-
boots?
They had no clothes to speak of. Now that you think of it, they looked kind of large for human skeletons.
No. Bad.
Yeah. No boots. Pretty big, but no boots.
So are you following this thing? Is that what we're all doing?
I'm gonna actually go tell try to gather everybody else up.
That's probably
Okay.
a good idea.
So do you want to? So you're heading back to the dance pavilion then?
Dance pavilion / cabin area. Yes, probably dance pavilion to get Jamal, and then go check on the two people who ran to the abandoned cabin.
Cool.
I will stay with the group.
To do
I
whatever.
won't go by myself. I'll stay with the group.
Okay.
Good plan.
Dick, you're staying with the group?
Yeah, if everyone else is leaving, Dick would linger for a moment, then he yells out into the forest, "Listen here, arsehole. We're going to come and find you and get our friends back. Right when I go and get the others."
Don't move.
And then, he'll follow the others.
Okay. So you head back to the dance pavilion. At first, you don't see anything. Remember, it is a gazebo, open air gazebo in a pine clearing. The paint of its roof is peeling in finger-like curls, and there are all of these robots covered in sheets standing in various poses of dance.
Jamal.
There is also a bar here. There's a ring of cartoon bare-faced dispensers, and that are littered with glow sticks and glow rings. And there are various liquids and powders slowly trickling from these plastic cartoon bears' mouths. You're calling out Chalk, and you see something in response to your call shift under one of the white sheets.
I know I just inserted the number of these earlier. Which was 8, which I could have, if we want to stick with that number, that's great. If not, that's fine. If I look at them real quick, having interacted with these sheeted things a whole lot, are there still 8? Does it look like the normal number?
You're not sure, but you think there's one more than there normally are.
I'll walk up to that gingerly and use my racket to try to whip the sheet off this.
Okay. You make a fear save.
That's a disadvantage.
It certainly seems strange that there would be a new dancing mannequin.
Yeah. Wasn't
So
there only 8
suspicious.
before?
I rolled a 19, so I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
You whip it off, and a huge plume of smoke comes out, because this is where your good pal Nolan has his hotboxing himself under one of these sheets.
God bless.
Dude.
What's up, dudes? What's up?
Nolan, that's such a sick idea, man. That's exactly what I was going to do to Chalk.
Right. So
Strange things are afoot, Nolan. Have you seen Yvette?
No. Have you seen these trees, man?
Yeah, man, I've seen the trees, man.
They're good.
Yes.
These are good trees.
Yes, indeed. I'm familiar with your human slang. I know what good trees means. Either way, I think it is best that you stay with us. There is something afoot, and we're going to find out what it is.
What's afoot is a boot.
Big
Print.
fucking boots.
Big boots.
Have you seen
Big
boots?
Have you heard or seen big boots, Nolan?
I don't think so.
Fuck.
What does that mean?
Do you know where Jamal is?
No.
Do you know where you are?
Good
Yeah,
question.
I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm right here.
Very good. You should stay with us.
Okay. He'll follow you. Where do you want to go?
Cabin. That's the other
The cabins
place.
where
that
the yeah.
Yeah. That's where we know people theoretically are.
Before
Okay,
we leave,
sure.
I want to like lean under the spigots with the gross crap dripping out of it and just take a big ol' sip.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
60-year-old drink. Here we go.
Yeah, so
Aged to perfection.
let me quick see. All right, I gotta roll something. Ooh.
Oh,
That's not ominous.
You're this doesn't really feel good. You know, you feel something, you feel a little bit of a head rush and it's swimming. It's not a good time. All of your saves are going to be at disadvantage.
all right. That sucks.
Yeah, you feel.
I'm
you
just
feel
gonna
like
take some hyper meth to balance that out a little bit.
okay.
I feel good.
Hit me.
I
hit
feel
me
great.
body save to try and do that at disadvantage.
Okay, cool.
See if that helps.
Nope, that's a failure.
Okay.
Didn't crit fail though.
Go ahead and take 5 stress because that made it way fucking worse. It's like
Shit!
you like the world.
Hyper
is
meth,
spinning.
man.
That did not equalize at all.
This adds to the queasiness and makes you just real frustrated with it all.
Tabitha, you got to do the breathing exercises I taught you.
Do you guys ever like wonder why?
Yes. Yes.
Just breathe.
I have often wondered.
So yeah, you head off to the cabin. It is a primitive, rusty, rickety wood cabin. You don't see anything outside of it.
Is it Billy and Tara who came up here?
Yep.
Billy, Tara.
No one responds to you.
I'm going to take out the flute that I carry with me, and I'm going to play Dolphins in the Lake as best I can from my memory.
Dolphins in the lake. That is what we are.
Billy, come.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't get any response.
You're calling him like he's a dog.
Yes, a mammal. Exactly.
Okay.
Same difference.
Yep. I don't know why I asked, to be honest.
I believe that there's
Look,
a future for this content. Billy, we must. Look, we must gather everyone so we can continue.
My at this point, Dick is definitely on the frustrated side of his high, so he's just gonna walk in, just open the door, like, come on, it's time to go. We're gonna go find Big Boots guy.
It's true. My priority is to figure out who has the big boots.
When I find him, man, like, I'm gonna fuck him up so good.
But wait, not until I've had a chance
You
to
don't
get
believe. You don't
get my
believe anything
interview.
Dick says.
Okay, so you kick in the door. The door creaks open, and the threshold sort of like the wood gives way to your foot, like it's soft and has been soaking up a lot of moisture. Immediately inside the cabin is this huge buffet table, filled with fresh-looking food. And in the corner there is a huge vat of delicious-smelling turkey gravy boiling. And probably most importantly, bearing the lead here a little bit, there are 3 wolves on the buffet table, tearing apart a massive steak.
But not a terribilly shaped steak.
No, it's like a steak.
Okay.
You do not see any sign of your friends in here.
Have the wolves reacted to me?
Yes, you made a very loud sound. They like all look to you. They like rip apart the steak in 3 parts and like turn towards you and are growling with the steak in their mouths. What do you want to do?
Unfortunately for these wolves, I am imbued with the power of myth rage. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Richard, no. Richard, no.
When he kicks the door open, I guess you guys are behind him. You see Richard framed in the doorway, and he's like, "Fucking wolves!" And then he just walks in.
Okay, you're just walking in. What is everyone else doing in response to this?
Just as a question, have there been wolves here before? Have we like heard howling or other stuff? Is there animals in this habitat, or is this new?
Yeah, I think that you've heard rumor of this. You've maybe like seen in previous times, Jamal like has like creepily pointed out like animal scat.
Okay.
It's like we're not.
That's my boy.
But you've never seen them
Scat
before.
Master Jamal.
That's right. It's unlikely that there are wolves. I mean, wait, maybe it is likely.
I'm gonna follow Dick in with my knife drawn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm also on like shitty meth rage, but
Chalk is walking in right behind Clay.
I will go in, but I will stop entering when I see that there are in fact wolves.
Okay.
So I'm going to stand in the threshold.
Okay. So I'm going to say, Dick, you can do something. What do you want to do?
I should remember I gave my book away. Is there anything on this buffet table, like cutlery or anything that looks like a weapon that I could use?
Sure. There's like a big carving knife.
I grab that, and I'm like, I yell, "Where's my friends, you wolf bastards?" And they start like swinging at them, not necessarily to try and stab a wolf, but like to keep them back.
Okay. Yeah, they like back up, but they charge you.
oh shit.
Okay. Welcome to
So-
Paintown, wolves. Here we go.
So yeah, why don't you roll me combat, and we'll see how this goes.
It's a 24. That's a success.
Okay. These wolves, one of them lunges. You bring your carving knife up, plunge it into its lower jaw, goes straight up. The wolf, like the momentum of it, knocks you back. The other 2 wolves jump out a window and bail.
And then like, well, the thing is, I stab this wolf. We fall over, and then like in like an urgent sort of frenzy, I just keep fucking stabbing. Just just going at it.
Everyone else witnessing this, please take 1 stress.
Cool.
Reasonable.
Yep.
We pans over to Chalk, who was getting ready to dip a tennis ball in gravy so he could throw it out the window. Like, just stop and like nod as he freaks out watching his friend stab this thing to death.
So no one else is in here, right? Just
No.
the wolves.
I mean, you could like look around.
I would like to look around.
Okay. So you look under the buffet table. There's no one there. There's There's like the only other things in here. Oh, there's old square dancing posters clinging to the walls of note.
Yeah.
There's some bunk beds in here. You don't see anything else in there. The only other thing of note is this big vat of gravy. It's kind of like enormous, maybe like disproportionately massive. There's no need for this much gravy in the world, but it's there.
Could a person be inside the gravy?
Is it being
Is it
heated?
boil? Yeah.
Yeah.
Boiling. It's boiling right now. Yep.
But it's not like sitting over a fire. Like there's some sort of heating element that's heating it up, or
Yeah. It's self-heating.
right. There's probably a fake fire down below that actually just sits on top of a heating element.
Yep.
So,
Guys, I know that we've been joking around and having a great time. Half of us are in hypermeth, but I'm feeling like, given that the fact that wolves are inside the cabin, and that we can't find a vet or anybody else, probably should check the gravy boat.
I was gonna say go back to the ship.
Okay.
Well, we still haven't figured out what's going on here.
Well, if we can't find everybody, maybe they went back. No, but I was thinking maybe they all went back to the ship. Like if we can't find them.
I don't think that's what happened.
With his back to you, Dick stands up. He's got his back to you, and he's wiping the blade on his trousers. And he's like, "We don't go back to that fucking ship until we find your vet." And he picks up the dead wolf. He goes outside and throws it against a tree. And he's like, "I'm fucking coming for you, big boots."
Okay, so you pick up the wolf. Before you make it outside, a boot kicks through the wall.
Big boots.
And a vac suit wearing person smashes through the wall, and has a vibe chetty in their hand, looks at all of you, and kicks the pot of gravy in all of your directions.
No, that was my move.
Who is standing closest to the gravy? At least someone I heard expressed interest in.
I had gone over there earlier, but I don't think I'm the closest anymore.
I basically was saying we should check it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're there, Tabitha. You get hit with some gravy.
Sweet.
Make me a body save.
At disadvantage because
Yep.
Well, that one succeeded. That one didn't.
Okay. You're gonna take some damage.
Cool.
You take 33 damage.
Ow. Okay, so quick question.
Yep.
If I am out of damage for a hit, does that extra damage roll over to my next wound?
I rule it as it doesn't carry over. So
okay,
you're gonna take a wound.
Goodbye wound.
Okay,
that was fun.
So you are drenched in boiling, like heavy, sticky stuff. It doesn't just like come off you. It's not like water. It is sticking to you and like actively burning you. You're covered in like burning clothes. Your skin is like bubbling visibly. It's pretty bad. So we're gonna roll on the
gravy table.
The wound table.
The gravy table.
I think there's one for fire. Let me quick.
I might just straight up die.
I should have had this pulled up.
I'd love to hear from chat while we're looking that up. What's your best gravy-related injury in Mothership to date?
Beat this.
All right.
At least I have fun bubbling in all the little hits of damage I just took there.
Okay, so we are going to roll on, I think, the fire and explosives wound.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
That seems appropriate, I think. Emily, why don't you roll me a d10 and we'll see what you get.
4.
4. Okay, so you have 3rd-degree burns.
Yep.
Covering your body. I'm gonna
Sweet.
say that is. It doesn't specify any kind of mechanical penalty or anything, but it's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
I think that it would probably impact your ability to do things. Probably you're gonna lose some skin if you tried to take your clothes off or something.
I would say, based on my quick cursory glance at what 3rd-degree burns do, just to make sure my memory was correct, is they're highly susceptible to infection, and people become highly susceptible to shock because of them.
Okay, so I'm glad that you said that, because my first instinct. I'm not going to do it. Never mind.
Okay. So there is a person in here wearing a vac suit. It is like a polarized visor, so you don't see their face. But they have a vibecheti, which is a vibrating machete. What would you all like to do about it?
As the camera pans over this person and the intense fear shakes into all of our bones, a tennis ball hits them across the front of their helmet. I did roll a 24 on my combat. So I succeeded to hit them. I don't know if it does any damage.
Yeah, it like throws them off balance temporarily, giving someone else a window to perhaps do something or run.
I'm going to cross myself, and I'm going to grab Tabitha and drag her out the door.
Okay. Liam, you have a wolf in your hands.
Yeah, a wolf and a carving knife.
Yeah,
I'm going to town. I'm swinging the wolf with my offhand. I'm stabbing with my right hand, and I'm like doing a primal yell while I do it too. Like I'm full fucking I'm the
for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like because of the meth rage, the advantage of having a wolf in your hands,
the toxic masculinity.
The toxic masculinity, and the tennis ball throwing this thing off balance. Why don't you take advantage and roll me combat?
Okay, all right, I'll take that. Thanks for the advantage. That might save me. No, I fail. I got 82 on both rolls.
Yikes.
All right, you're gonna get a face full of vibecheti.
All right, here we go.
Bad.
What could go wrong?
All right, you take 13 damage.
Okay.
Does that take you out of wound? How much health?
No, it doesn't actually. I'm pretty tough.
Okay, cool.
To the face.
You see your friends bailing. Would you like to continue your assault or change tactic?
Richard, you are truly a hero. You will not be forgotten.
With them bailing right now, if I was to bail, would this thing be hot in our tail, or do I need to stay longer to buy time for the others to get away before I then try and extricate myself?
I mean, vac suits are like kind of bulky and hard to move in. There's like a river of gravy on the floor. Like you could probably just run if you want to run.
All right. I throw my wolf at him and I run.
Cool. Yeah. All right, you run.
Maybe gets tangled in the wolf.
Yeah.
You run off into the night.
I throw it like into the middle of his chest so he'd be inclined to try and catch it, and then I run.
Yeah. It's a wolf. It's pretty hefty. They are staggered, and you all flee. Where are you fleeing to?
I'm headed to the ship. I yelled to Clay to get in the alley, so I have Clay charge this guy while I run out of the room. Also, as soon as I hit that door frame, he just totally deletes out of existence because it's a line of sight thing. But hopefully that buys us an extra second also. But I'm like, ship.
Is everyone else following suit?
I'm going wherever Sancto is going because I don't think I can see too good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could I use the shock of the pain and everything going on to attempt to, how do I put this? Vomit some of the substances that I previously ingested in order to maybe sober myself up a little bit.
I mean, gosh. Make me a body save at disadvantage.
Okay. That's a success. No?
Okay. You vomit all over your own wounds.
Okay.
Yes.
It's choking in your throat. This situation is going from bad to worse to unimaginably horrible. This kind of feels like a situation where like all hope seems lost.
Oh no.
And, you might want to have to roll a panic check.
I just took the stress. I'm trying to get above my current stress.
Yes.
Okay. I want everybody to know I have 15. So nah. That's a 4.
Okay. So you're panicking at a 4. You are overwhelmed. You permanently raise your minimum stress by 1, and all your actions are at disadvantage for an amount of time. For 4 minutes.
Even if you did throw up the substances,
So,
it doesn't matter.
Don't worry. I already got that.
Yep. Okay. So you're all heading for the dock. Shortly after you leave the cabin, massive alarms start blaring, and the power, like you can hear, winds down in the station. Red emergency lights come on, yeah. That's what happens. You reach the docks, and the airlock connecting the sort of entrance area to your ship is closed. Also, you see sort of like a dark, it's kind of hard to make out because the lights are off, I guess. Sancto, you have your light, but it's like you're sort of walking backwards. You're dragging your friend. It's probably not illuminating whatever this is, but there's something or someone sort of slumped in the corner
by the airlock.
Yeah.
Clay and I will go over and check on that person. And I also mentioned Clay is kind of glowing at this point in time. He's not necessarily a light source, but is probably mildly illuminating.
Better than
okay. So, this is Billy. Billy's here.
How alive is Billy?
How do you check that?
I mean, I don't because
you don't talk. What are you doing?
I'm like Billy, and I'm like shaking his arm.
Yeah. Like, so you shake his arm, like his head is kind of slumped forward. You shake his arm.
Like, is he like over his guitar, like right now? Like,
wait, say that again.
Is he like hanging? Like,
he has
over
his guitar in his hand. Yeah. Yep. So his head kind of falls forward, and it keeps falling forward and rolls off of his body, and strums the guitar strings on the way down.
Wow.
Why don't you go ahead and make me a panic check?
I was gonna say, what type of check am I making?
Yeah, go ahead and roll panic. How much stress do you got currently?
I only have 3.
3? That's, you could still panic. Roll me a d20.
I got 13. We're good.
Okay, you're good. So
Clay is a little freaked out. Chalk is fine. Like,
right.
Your hollow person is projecting.
I don't. That's not. Tara.
It's okay. I'm gonna walk over and make sure I get some good shots of
Oh my god.
of Billy's body with the guitar and everything.
It's
And-
very artistic.
Yeah, and
like,
I'm going
It'd
to
make a great black metal album cover.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. And I'm going to anyone who's overhearing will hear me say that now certainly this will go viral.
I go over and like check the door real quick, like in a very rare moment of situation. Like Chalk drops his. I have a hard time remember which character I am. Of me or my dumb hollow projection. The goes over to the door to try to like open it up.
Right. So there's a control panel there. It's like electronic. And in big red all caps letters, it says exterior docking bay in lockdown. Blast doors lowered. Cockpit override required.
What override?
Cockpit.
Cockpit.
And that means not the cockpit from our ship. Means something else.
It says cockpit override required.
Could I
What's
go
on the fucking ship?
take a look at that?
Sure.
So
So you this is blocking your access to your ship. So you can't.
Right.
You're not on your ship.
yes, I'm curious if I can sort of poke around at this control panel and see if there's obviously that this is connected to something external from this location, right? We don't know what this cockpit is, but we know that it's not right here.
Right.
So I'm going to try to use my understanding of computers to kind of try to get a sense for how I might know where this system is. What port on the system is it listening to? Is this like port 303080 or like, what's the hexadecimal address, that kind of thing?
I think that this is like not connected up to anything. Like this is a local thing. Like it is received, like the power has shut down. Like it is in a state of override and it is not like communicating with any other system right now.
Interesting.
If we broke this airlock, would it hurt us in any way? Like, is it
It's the best question I've heard all night.
like if I break it, is it not going to depressurize something and make us suffocate?
It is connected to an umbilical that leads to your ship, which is all pressurized.
Okay.
So unless something has changed on the outside, then you should be okay. This monitor does say blast doors lowered.
Oh.
So there's this airlock, but presumably there's another like series of doors beyond that have shut.
Because my thinking was this: I could go and see what's in the Freddy Fazbear's bar of horrible things and see if I could mix something up that maybe could like melt the door. But I'm not sure if that would
Like
also melt the blast door.
you think by combining like cocaine and meth, you might be able to make thermite or something.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I don't know.
I still have a few ounces of hard liquor in my liquid storage container.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not like a chemistry,
Dang it.
set. Like
that gravy was pretty hot though. What if we
It
got
was
some of
hot
that?
gravy.
Plug it on this door.
Well, certainly there's something on this station that tools or some kind of support network. I think you're onto something. We may not have
or
the
like a
materials.
At the
Certainly.
very least, there is
Turn
one
the power back on. I don't know.
Vibra Shitty.
That's true. There is big boots with a big vibrating knife. That
Ian,
we know for a fact.
You implied that there was no way to do the override from here. Is there like a panel below the panel? Is there like a guts panel that we've popped into already?
No.
Okay.
It's just this panel.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
obviously the cockpit override can't be from the other side. So is there a cockpit here?
In a station, there's generally some sort of like control room or something.
Oh no, that was a character question, not a
right.
GM question.
oh, well, I've never been to it, but there has to be some control center.
Where do you want to go?
Where have we not been?
You have not been anywhere in the like access maintenance area.
Which we can't get to now, or we can?
You can.
I think now is the time we
Yeah.
go into the maintenance. Yes.
Agreed.
Right. There is
Yes.
an area.
Finally.
If you're facing the dome, there is a door to the right and to the left leading into maintenance shafts.
I was programmed to be left-handed. It means that I have a preference for left. Any other opinions?
Is there anything we know about the layout of the station that indicates that a command center thing would be closer one way or the other?
The only thing you know is that you saw that path leading from the docks to an area that said like staff only,
Okay.
which is
And
on like the total opposite side of the ship.
Oh, so it doesn't
the
matter
station.
which way we go. Let's go left.
Okay. We're going left. So you work your way through sort of like a tight, cramped passageway. And you come to a small, rusty room. It smells like chlorine and oxidation. It is filled with scrap metal and drooping pool toys, and what looks like a generator with a crankshaft.
Interesting.
There is also something shiny beneath some scrap metal that catches your eye.
Anyone gonna?
I'll get it.
Okay.
I will give you light. I'll be next to you and provide light.
Okay, you move some stuff aside. There is a corroded bioscanner,
Cool.
which is like it's a motion sensor thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it over and see. It's obviously corroded. Is it functional?
Yeah, you turn it on. It shows 4 dots. Oh no, 5 dots. 5 dots because
Oh, we have
Nolan is following you around.
That's right. I forgot.
Oh, that's right. God.
Nolan like pops out of the room,
Forgetting
like,
we had
smoking
somebody
a
with
cigarette.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sigh, no, for that sigh, actually take a stress.
Who wants to look at this generator?
Yeah, is the generator running?
Nope.
Let's as in the immortal words of a generational poet, crank that.
Yeah, you crank it and it turns over, and then sort of sputters and stops.
I would like to see if there's anything if there's any parts missing or if there's another issue. I did end up for my expert skill taking mechanical repair. So
yeah, it seems functional. I mean, you can see like wires leading out to other places. I'm trying to think, like, I will say this. You probably think that this generator alone cannot output enough power to power the entire station.
Cool.
And when you turn it over, it doesn't start.
Cool.
We just needed to power that one door though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever command place we need to get to.
right.
Theoretically, we could try. Does it have fuel?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think it's there's some sort of like biofuel or something.
So this generator looks like it is in working order, just not active right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it mobile?
Nope.
It's like hardwired into the system.
Yep.
And just so I'm clear, like it looked like as we were running away from the boots man that the power went off.
Boots man.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it's off because there's still these red emergency lights, but it is in some sort of lockdown mode where some systems are probably not active.
Right, which might be why this generator is not kicking also too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we gotta go find a bridge. We gotta go find somebody that controls this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Before we leave, real quick, just a quick scan to see if there might be any other things that might be useful, like, I don't know, a big heavy wrench or like a pipe or something that I could use to hit a booted vac suit.
You can find like something that is so rusted that you can't even recognize what it is, but it's like big and heavy.
I will happily take the big and heavy thing.
Okay.
I have an idea. This is very important. Is there gas in the generator? Is there some sort of liquid that powers the generator?
Yep.
Perfect. Do we have a readily available vessel in which to put it in that isn't the android, which is my backup plan?
Like you want to siphon some biofuel?
I don't know what you all have.
I don't.
I have a flute made from a saint's bone. A
Okay.
relic. That's it.
The android needs to siphon some of this gas and hold on to it. I've got a flare torch, a flare gun. You've got a way to hold on to this shit. We need to gather it up, and this is our backup plan.
We're making him into a flamethrower.
He's gonna.
I want to point out it's going to be this biofuel mixed with alcohol.
Perfect.
As a player, I'm very excited about
I am
this.
also
Dick
on
says
board.
this very, very straight face. Dick's like, he's gonna piss on it, and we're gonna burn the fucker. Right? That's his plan.
Yeah.
And then he turns around. He turns around. He prods you in the chest. And he goes, "Now that's fucking content."
He's right.
I'll tap the access point where he needs to suck to get some of this fuel out.
You got this.
The best idea I've ever had.
You can.
I'll pat you on the back. I approve.
Just like old times, eh?
Oh God.
Yeah. So do you want to siphon a bunch of fuel into your body?
Yes.
What could go wrong?
Okay.
What could go
First,
wrong?
I'm gonna do my cross.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like how much capacity? Like the exact amount of capacity that your fluid intake has. Do you want to fill it all the way up? What do you want to do with it?
Yeah, I actually think that. I mean, assuming that there's enough to fill it up, right? Which
sure.
Yes. I'm gonna first evacuate the high proof alcohol.
Yeah. Everyone take a stress.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna piss vodka.
Yep.
And
We've all been there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not. I don't
just
know.
like old times again.
Okay, you're not taking a stress. Let's say you're not taking a stress for that, because I just realized it's not really that stressful. But what you are stressed out about is how distended his belly gets when he starts filling his body to max capacity with biofuel.
I have a question and no reason.
Their body gets, sorry.
If I get to 20 stress,
yeah. You start.
There's no way to heal it. Nothing like that.
I mean, you could try to do something to heal it, I guess, but generally you have to heal it in downtime.
Yeah.
I will specify one other change from 1E is every stress you take over 20 does direct damage to a save. So you start losing save points.
Got it.
And
Okay,
do we all
cool.
take a
So-
stress from watching this distendation?
Yeah, you all take a stress, from the distended belly thing. Okay, so are you moving on? Oh, also Nolan helpfully flicks on their blowtorch to
Great idea.
to contribute, indicate their ability to contribute to the situation.
Cool.
This is the best.
Thank you,
plan
Nolan.
Yes.
ever. I am so happy.
No
Even if
one-
we all die, I am stoked that you allowed us to explore this possibility.
So I'm gonna like. I guess is the tunnel still like the access port still going beyond this?
Yep, you can go past here.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna use the like. I'll take the lead with the bioscanner.
Cool. Yeah, let's see what's up with that.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
He's gonna roll a number.
Lindsay Buckingham.
Okay. There's nothing coming up on the bioscanner, and you come into a new room. It's a little more open compared to the cramped generator room. This is a disheveled construction workers' locker room, and notably, there are human hands in various states of decay, hanging from the ceiling by plastic zip ties. You notice the freshest one is wearing the black fingernail paint of
Yvette,
Jamal.
Jamal.
yeah. Everyone
No.
everyone is going to take some stress. 4 stress.
All right, so
Okay, yeah, that's bad news.
just gonna go ahead and take a damage to a save real quick.
And that's basically like, is that a 1-to-1? Like you take 1 damage. It's like
Yep.
the save lowers by
Yep.
1 for every.
I can just pick whatever save.
Fear, I think, in this case
Cool.
seems appropriate.
I think I know where Big Boots lives.
There's
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff in this room. So there is a 5-meter rupture in the exterior bulkhead that is sealed with transparent plastiwall and covered in caution tape, and you can actually see through. It's like clear plastic, like super thick clear plastic, and you can see out into space through this thing. It looks like it is sort of cracking and deforming in places. This is probably like a temporary fix that has been made permanent over and been left here over years. There are old bloodstains accenting the shredded metal edges of where the bulkhead is torn away. There are lockers because there's a locker room. There is also a chrome pad on the floor. Imagine like a flower with flower petals like pressed flat, but it's metallic. And it is maybe like a meter wide. And there are red blinking lights on it.
Okay.
I'm interested in the red blinking lights.
I'm not.
So yeah, you go closer towards it. There are red circular lights animating towards the center like a bullseye. They're like flashing in succession. The pad is engraved with the words "Integrated Jaunt Pad 1.08" in laser etching. And you notice from the emergency lights above, there is a shadow of a hand cast onto the chrome pad with something in it.
What's in it?
You look up, there's a hand holding a deteriorated floppy disk labeled "Memo from the Desk of Dr. Fresnel."
Can I reach it?
Yeah, you grab it.
I'll be having that.
Yeah, you have to like pry open the hand from rigor mortis, but you got it.
If you think this is the first time I've had to pry open a dead hand, you're incorrect.
How do you
In
think
an
you got that
effort-
bone flute?
Oh no.
It was a gift of a deacon.
Okay, so you have this. We're gonna move quickly through this because I think we're running a little low on time here.
Anything else in the room of interest though?
There's some hand welders in the lockers if you open those up. There are also vac suits that if you go to like investigate them, they sort of like crumble apart. They're so old. And there are also family photos.
I'll take a hand welder for my trouble.
Okay.
I'll take
There
the family photos.
There's one hand welder, so it's yours.
Oh, okay.
Are
What are you doing with family photos?
Are these set here?
Say that again?
Are they set here, like on the station?
No, they're like all off station, I think.
And are they assorted or are they of a singular family?
No, there's like each locker has like different photos and memorabilia and like different kinds of things in them. They look like, like a person's locker.
Cool. Then I don't take them. I just passingly look at the faces in them.
You note the faces.
I would like to get some video of them.
Okay, cool. You do that.
And then we move
All right.
on.
So,
Yep.
moving on.
I think
you head deeper into the station. You have to navigate these access corridors that you kind of are in the like it's almost like clearly the life support is sort of coming through here. The corridors narrow into almost more like vents. There are flickering lights. The air is musty, and the vents are creaking beneath your feet. Who's taking point?
I am still with the scanner.
Okay. The scanner. Okay, let's do this.
let's do what, Ian?
We'll see.
Let's figure out how to get rid of that scanner.
We'll see.
The scanner starts
everything.
flickering, and it's like dying.
Cool.
Just as it dies, you see on the very far edge of it a blip, and then it goes dark.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you're taking point. You are.
Hey guys, there's something else up ahead.
I have a recommendation. We engage Plan C. Use the hand welder to cut through the bulkhead.
Which bulkhead?
The blast doors. It might take time, but we have a hand welder.
So with the background in like industrial and mechanical repair, welders are not cutters, correct?
They can be used to cut, but it would take a significant amount of time to cut through like a blast door with a welder.
I don't think that welder has the fuel for that. It's not really the tool for the job.
Our powers combined. A bladder full of
Oh my god.
Different type of fuel, sorry.
What if we did this? How about, does it cut through plastawall?
Yes, you could cut out into space.
Is there a bulkhead we could seal after I did that?
well,
We
but
don't get sucked
How
in?
would you survive?
Yes, good question, isn't it?
You know who would survive out there if they had to send someone to maybe go and get the ship and bring it somewhere else? Is the android.
would I?
Yep.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially. He
Um,
says.
But he's also our best weapon. This is the
Yeah.
downside.
Right.
But okay,
so-
what if we
look,
gave
we
him a
don't-
hand welder? He could.
We've got to be getting close. We've got to be
They're
getting close to the
probably-
cockpit.
So there probably are doors that would close to break off different parts of the thing, but you don't have access to any of them right now.
Okay.
But if we get to the
Lockdown
is
command
okay.
station part of the ship, we may be able to do that.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay, and is that between? I mean, like, is that towards the blip?
You don't know where it is.
I'm gonna send Clay up in front of us a little bit,
Okay,
like 20 feet up in front of us.
sure. So like there's like steam coming out from different
That's
vents,
fine.
and it's like illuminating Clay's body. Right. So Clay.
Oh no, I'm just gonna keep on going. Like I'm just gonna keep Clay like
Ahead of
20
you.
feet
Sure.
ahead of me, and like
Sure.
it's very. I mean, he's slightly illuminated. His body's fogging in and out as steam shoots out. It's very obvious to me and to most people that he is not a person at this point
Right.
in time. But it's
Right.
still comforting me, and
Sure.
and I'm pushing forward.
Any advantage, right? You got to take
So
it.
how are you projecting the Clay?
I don't know how the technology in this universe works, but very
I mean,
well. But I'm doing it very
like,
well.
Is it like something on your body?
Yeah, I imagine it is probably like I threw out like, is it like Google Glasses? And I imagine
Right.
it is probably something like that, though it is a projector and not a thing. So imagine there are no glasses,
Headlamp.
but there's like a thing right here, right?
Sure.
That pokes out over my head so it can, and probably one on the other side. So maybe backwards loop. So maybe more like a headband
Got
than
it.
anything else.
That's fine. Okay. So Clay says, fuck. And
Cool.
you see like there's a bend. He turns, says, fuck, and you see a body walk through Clay.
Oh
and start
no.
walking towards all of you. It is dragging its vibe shetty along the floor. It's throwing up sparks and walking towards you. What do you do?
The camera,
Throwing up sparks. Oh, sorry, I'm at the back.
I was about to say, the camera gives it a second to be menacing and the situation to really drop in. Then all of a sudden, a tennis ball hits it in the face.
Okay. Yeah. It keeps coming at you.
Yeah, absolutely. It does nothing. Yeah.
No.
Only adding. I'm going to take a stress because that only adds to my fear because I really thought that was going to be a successful maneuver.
Yep. So yeah.
So-
Unleash the beast.
Yeah,
So that's
So-
happened. So it's what is everyone else doing?
I'm going to begin pissing out this fuel into a large puddle in front of me. And once
Okay.
I feel as though the puddle has become, a
Sufficient.
little substantial,
Right.
I'm going to continue evacuating my fluid tank
hmm
as I walk backwards.
Okay.
Okay.
So are you
And-
letting Chalk get past you? Are you like pulling Chalk behind you before you do this? Because otherwise Chalk is immediately in the firing line.
I will take the time to ensure that I don't evacuate my fluid tank full of biofuel.
You're pissing past me.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna say, yeah. This
It's like a
my moment has
This
come.
is a narrow corridor, so I would
Yeah.
say you have to get Chalk behind you.
Okay, then I will begin to
Okay.
pull him
So-
backwards behind me, and then I'm gonna
Sure.
say to Nolan, get that blowtorch ready.
Yeah, Nolan's up there with you. This is
I'm running.
this is great.
So just to be clear, I'm trying to set up a spot where there's a decent amount of fuel,
Yep.
and then I'd like to light that line of fuel
Yep.
in the hopes of trying to catch
Yep.
big boots.
Um
Whether that's successful or not, it remains to be seen. But that's my intention.
For sure. I mean, it's such a weird thing that,
You're telling me.
well, that I don't think anything would be able to really understand what's happening here.
I mean, a serial killer's probably seen heaps of people piss themselves. Never been
Right.
seen on
Yeah.
fire before, though, right?
Right.
What else is there?
So yeah, you do this. This thing is on fucking fire.
Yes.
There's just a beautiful like rainbow of flames, like rushes forward. It's the perfect timing. The vac-suited boot steps into the puddle, just bursts into flame.
I would recommend we run now.
I agree.
Oh no, Clay is on the other side. Hold on.
Clay will be fine.
I
Clay will be fine.
Bring it
We'll
back
get
up
him
by
on the other way.
That's right.
No, Clay is Clay. I was assuming Clay.
No,
okay,
I called him back. I called him
Okay.
back.
Clay. Right. Yeah.
Not
yeah.
Chalk.
Clay like runs through.
So it's
the
not
whole
just me who's
situation.
getting confused by the fact that I gave my character identical names. That's great. I love
It
it.
is
That's
confusing.
fine. Okay. So yeah, this thing's on fire. So everyone's just running. No one does anything about it. Just booking it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so you run back the other direction. What are y'all doing? What's the plan?
So if we like try and slam doors shut behind us, they're not going to seal, or we can't even move them.
You can't move them.
There's no
Okay.
power for anything. Does there was a left and a right, correct?
From the room, yeah, back from the docking bay, there was another way around.
Okay.
I vaguely remember there being a room with like a real dodgy plastic
Yep.
That's at the lair.
window.
Yep.
Yeah.
What if we
Yeah.
poked just a little hole in it?
Well, look, here's the thing. I have seen Jason in space. I know how this is supposed to end. So, like, I'm very aware that window needs to go.
That sounds like a heroic sacrifice that you could make. I assure you, Richard, that your act of heroism would not be forgotten. You
I'm gonna
could
clap.
live in greatness.
I'm going to clap a hand on Nolan's shoulder and
Right.
say, you made that happen back there. And that was epic. And you know what would be even more epic is if you saved all of us, and you could save all of us by just punching a hole in the plaster wall while we run.
Nolan, do you
And
know
we
where they
would
have?
sing songs about you in
Yes.
Valhalla or whatever.
Yes.
Do
Do you know where they have the best trees, Nolan?
In space.
Where-
In
Where's
heaven.
the best trees?
In heaven. When you get to the pearly gates, the first thing St. Michael asks is, do you vape or do you prefer flowers?
Let him make a theology roll to see.
Yeah, please make a theology roll. Please make a theology roll.
This is intelligence?
Yeah.
I roll.
theology.
Okay. I roll a 67 and my number is a 63.
Oh,
That's a failure. All right.
does he get advantage because I'm helping?
How are you helping?
I was saying that it was going to be amazing, and then I would give him some meth as well.
Yeah, roll advantage. Go ahead. Try it again.
Okay. I roll a 50, which is successful.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Mark 2222. Do you vape?
he just like squints, and is like, "Fuck it, dude."
Yes. Yes. You will achieve greatness.
Okay.
You're legend. You're
Okay.
legend.
So he starts melting away at this thing. You all
running?
want to run?
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And close any doors behind us that we
As
find.
soon as there is a door. Okay, there's no doors.
There's
Well,
no door.
there was a door to go into the tunnel.
Yeah, but it was like a door. It was not
It's not-
like not an airlock.
Yep.
That's fine. Any big flat thing
Sure.
can be an airlock at some point in time.
So you probably make it to like the generator when there is like a pop and like you feel a change in pressure and there's a huge wall of air that comes and knocks into all of you. I think you're far enough away that you can like keep moving. But you know, the wind is screaming. You probably can't hear each other over the sound of it. You can make it back to the docking bay. What's the plan now?
Start cutting.
No. So use the welder to
So
seal. Use the welder to seal the door we just
Door.
came through.
Yes.
Okay, you do that. It's sealed up.
Cool.
Use the welder to seal the door on the other side because I don't know what the loop around on this thing is like or not.
Okay, so you do that. Now what's the plan?
Is okay. So if we ran towards the lake and the like no admittance or whatever, is that where we think?
Yeah, staff only.
The
Is
thing
that where you want to go?
I think so because there's no other way to open the blast doors.
I think
It's gonna take us
staff
too long.
and staff is going to be the closest place. I mean, yeah, staff's where we might run into the whatever button it is that opens.
We could
the,
at least like
blast
turn
doors
the power on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to be running through a whole bunch of different locations.
as fast as possible.
Just make it as complicated as possible.
Yeah. So it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to roll some stuff. Okay. You make it to the dance pavilion. There is all your good friends the robots with sheets. There's 9 of them.
Great. We cut around that pavilion.
Yeah. As soon as we,
Okay.
I mean, is it possible to like try to, circumnavigate the pavilion?
Yeah, I think you've called enough attention to it. Like you had that encounter before. Okay, so okay, here's what we're gonna do. So you run around it. One of them whips off its sheet. This thing takes its vibe shetty,
There are multiple killers.
throws it
Oh, fuck.
Dick.
Fuck. What am I rolling?
It's rolling.
Oh crap.
Okay. It hits you in the back. 20 damage.
It doesn't tick over though, does it? It doesn't tick
No,
over.
it does not take
Okay.
over.
Sweet. Thanks for that. That's good. I take a wound.
Okay. Let me quick roll.
D10. What are you doing?
Yeah, actually you roll.
3.
Okay. You have a laceration, you're bleeding, you're taking a damage every turn.
Did you say
Okay.
did you say he threw it at his
Shit.
back?
Yep.
I'm gonna pick the Vibra City up and I'm gonna go fuck this little. It's
So you have a
going
vibe
down.
sticking out of your back.
Can I take it out? Can I reach behind me and grab it?
Someone else could.
Yeah, I'll help you out.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. You removed it. There's just blood everywhere.
Yeah, look, if I'm gonna bleed out, I'm gonna bleed out in style. I take the Vibra City, I tell the others to get the fuck out, and I'm gonna go full angry meth head on this guy, and I'm just gonna tear it up. That's my plan. I'm gonna make that wolf look like a PG-13 kids show. That's what I'm gonna do.
This thing walks towards you. Like you're charging at it, it is walking towards you to meet it. Everyone else runs off. You reach the... We'll deal with Liam, what's going on with Liam later, but you reach the lakeside dock. You head to the admin area. Follow the path long enough. It leads to a control room.
I'm looking for whatever looks like a computer.
There's a computer. Basically, we're just fast forward through stuff. You find out that there are 2 generators, and to restart power from lockdown, you have to prime them at the same time. They are on opposite sides of the station.
Great.
Is one of them the one that we sealed up?
Both of them are ones we sealed
Both
up
of
because
them
I
are
was like,
sealed
I
up.
sealed the other door also.
Yeah. And also, there is a self-destruct box. The air, at this point, you can feel a pull towards. There's this connects to There's 2 doors out from this room other than the ones you came in. There's air rushing into one of them. The air feels stale and thin at this point. What's the plan?
We thought we were so clever.
Okay. New plan. I gotta take a vac suit off one of these guys, or I'm gonna die.
Which guys?
The killers.
We have to kill them without damaging their vaccines
Yeah.
in order to
So I don't know how to
survive.
do that. There's no like vac suit. We saw vac suits before that, but they were too old to use.
Right.
Yep.
So as we if we check the inventory, like if we're in a control center, like is there any sense of like schematics or anything else?
Yeah. You can find a map.
Do we get a sense that there are other places there might be vac suits?
Or that we could pressure.
There is the only other places you haven't gone are the other track, the other like ring. And there is a cryo bay and the other generator.
Yeah,
in that direction.
Cryo bay.
Would the cryo bay have vac suits in it?
I mean, we only need. I mean, we only need one vac suit to start the other generator. Sorry, we don't need a vac suit to start one of the generators, and we do have somebody who theoretically can breathe without air for a period of time.
If you give me the hand welder, I will open up the passageway, go back in, and attempt to restart the generator.
Here's the problem. How do we do it at the same time?
I will begin counting down from 8,245,000
Okay.
right now. You will.
Does
do the
anyone
same.
have a watch?
How about?
I know exactly what time it is all the time.
That doesn't help us
Well, it helps me.
because we don't.
What about if we sing "The Girl from Ipanema" 5 times? And
You know we can't sing "The Girl from Ipanema." There's only one song that we can sing. Dolphins in the Lake.
The
Oh
lake.
my
We
God.
use dolphins in the lake as our timing device.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
5
Thanks.
dolphins in the lake.
Five
Thanks.
dolphins in the lake.
Okay, you split up.
I take the hand welder.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you, Adventure Archive, for rating us. Welcome. We are playing an adventure from Hullbreach, which is Mothership Anthology. I'll drop the link in chat just 1 second. But we're a bunch of rich socialite teens trying not to die on the edge of space. And we're not succeeding currently.
Liam, I'm sending you a message on Discord.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay. So you do this. Cool. Sancto, you go down the access corridor with the vents and the steam. There is a blackened corpse burnt up in a vac suit.
The vac suit is ruined, I assume.
Absolutely ruined. However, you can, from what you can see, the hold on. What do we got? You can see a handle of vodka stashed in one of its like pockets.
Do I recognize this handle of vodka?
Yes. And you can see from what scraps of clothing are still intact. It looks like this corpse is Yvette.
Uh-oh.
Is there any more vodka in it?
Yes, miraculously it has somehow not been exploded.
I will take the vodka.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have the hand welder. Yes, okay. I would like to take the vodka with me, and I'm not going to go anywhere near that generator. I'm going to go into the hole in the side of the tunnel, and I'm going to attempt to Android style get my way to the ship by exiting the ship. And I'm going to use I'm going to try to jury rig some kind of thruster using the burning vodka. I have no idea if this will help. I'm going to bring it with
okay.
me with my intention. I have no idea if I'm going to do this, but I want to make it clear that what I'm doing now is exiting the station, and heading to the ship.
Sure. How are you going to burn the vodka?
With the hand welder.
Do you have a hand welder?
Yes.
Yeah, we gave him the hand welder.
I took the hand welder. That's how I got in. And actually, what I'm going to do, yep.
So first thing, you go into that room.
Yes.
You see an extruded Nolan in the clear thing. Like Nolan, a very long, thin Nolan, just sort of like pasted to the little tiny hole that they made before decompression got them. So you can widen it and blow yourself out into space. So you're in space.
That's what I'm going to do. Yes. And you can cut away and we can come back to this or whatever, but that's what I'm doing. I am leaving everyone.
Okay.
Who went the other direction, I guess is my question.
Yeah, I mean, all of you, the other
Yeah,
ones,
just
everyone else, I'm assuming,
me
went
and
the other
you.
direction. Right?
Because we were going to prime the other generator.
Yep. So you do you sing your 5 diamonds in the lake, or
Dolphins in the lake.
dolphins in the lake. You crank it, nothing happens. Gosh, can you roll 0G for me? Do you have 0G, Matt?
Oh, sure. I don't have 0G, not at all.
Don't have the 0G skill. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I just roll speed at disadvantage, I think. Like, this is insane.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I rolled a 99.
Okay. Pretty bad.
And
Perfect.
a 30, which is still a fail.
Okay. You're going off into space. You're just drifting. Fucking okay. So what do you do when the generator fails? Everyone else.
Okay.
We've got one last maybe chance.
Is it to get to the cryo chamber and freeze ourselves?
It's for at least 2 people to get in the cryo chamber and freeze themselves, and
Yep.
hope that when they come to blow this thing up, they notice there's another ship attached to it.
Yeah. There's no way to like send a distress signal from the command center or anything, right?
No.
Okay. We're just gonna get in the fucking cryo chamber.
So, Liam,
Do I have anything?
Yeah.
what would you do after that happened? Where would you go? Try to meet back up with everyone?
I think I would also have the same idea to go to the cryo chamber, actually.
Okay. So
Because I'm bleeding out. It's the
you
only thing I can
all
think
head
of.
to the generator. You're cranking this thing. You all head back into the crowd. You pass through the cryo chamber. To be clear, you pass through the cryo chamber. There's a bunch of bodies floating in vats. It's pretty messed up. You wait for the timing on the generator. You crank the generator. Doesn't work. Maybe you tried a few times. You're not sure what happened. You give up. You decide what to do. Okay, we're heading back. Go into the cryo chamber. So you all see the body's floating there, but there is a single proper cryopod. And it looks like it's basically an escape pod. It can eject from the station. And as you are approaching, you see a bloody face through the fogged window of the cryopod. And it is Dick smiling, a broad smile, and it punches out and into space. Everyone else, you're stuck on the station. You suffocate to death as the air leaves.
I'm gonna do my last 2 doses of hypermeth to try and just have one last good time.
Yeah, you have a great time.
The last shot we see of Chalk and Clay is them singing. What is it? Dolphins in the Stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
In perfect melody with each other.
Yes.
As the lights slowly go off and they and their sight fades to black.
I will share my hypermeth with you.
I don't want any. My body's a temple. I'm an athlete. Thank you very much.
Dick critically succeeded a combat check to fight with the true killer.
Roll the 55, yeah.
Wow.
And found the cryo chamber and escaped as the air was running out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dick is the only survivor. Well, Sancto is also alive, but drifting into deep space with no means of.
I'm clutching the Fresnel floppy disk.
Yep.
That's true.
As we see the credits roll, right? The song sung by Clay and Charlie.
Yep.
Transitions right into like 2000s era Disturbed cover of Dolphins in the Lake, a la Oz style horror. Chun, chun, chun.
Oh my god!
So
wow,
that was Vibe Chetty, everyone. Thanks for playing.
If everybody has a couple minutes, is that okay if we go another 10 minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I would love to hear from you all as soon as I get my mouse to cooperate with me. What your thoughts were about the adventure specifically. We do a thing here called Reaction Roll. Reaction Roll is a live stream within a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the team members of a bunch of people from Hullbreach in this situation and talk about an adventure that Pandamit in the chat made. Hullbreach right now is a collection of 20 plus adventures and tool kit pieces for Mothership First Eats live on Kickstarter right now. You can head over to ttrpg.link/hullbreachks to go straight there. I had a blast playing, but I would love to hear from y'all. I know that Vibe Chetty, the layouts and some of the other pieces have been shared. I don't know if y'all had got a chance to look through any of it before this point in time, or if y'all were just kind of gently taking it in as we were playing. But I would love to just whip around from people here one more time who y'all are, but also what it was like to play Vibe Chetty. Let's start with the best people who didn't horribly betray everybody else and go to the worst people who did. Let's start with Emily, the most redeemable individual out of all of us.
Okay, that's saying something. I'm Emily Weiss. I wrote Picket Line Tango. I write in Hullbreach as well. I had a blast. I think my favorite part of this adventure is actually something that happened before we even started playing. The backgrounds that we all get are so good. We're all horrible monsters, which, I mean, you kind of are when you play Mothership. You kind of already are, but all of them are so flavorful and fun to play. Yeah, that was probably my favorite part. Also, I love like just getting to say stuff like, do you want some meth? And that's, I don't know. That was a great time.
Awesome. Let's go to Liam, a hero for a second, a dirtbag in the end. Liam, tell people who you are, where they can find you online, and what it was like to play Vibe Chetty.
So I would just like to specify here that Liam did not choose to do that. Liam did not tell me I am taking the last cryopod out of the space station. But
oh no, you don't have to defend him right now. I know you're the worst person. You get to go last.
Right.
So like I know whatever Liam did.
That just seemed a good way to.
Oh no, I loved it.
Dick would have though. Dick would have.
I love it.
I'd have made the choice.
Liam, go ahead and tell people who you are and what it was like to play.
Yeah, kia ora. I'm Liam Stevens. You can find me at ttrpg.link. That's TOA. And I've written a couple of the pieces in Hullbreach. I loved that. That was great. I had a lot of fun. It's nice getting to play an absolute arsehole. But also, like, I like to think that this story encapsulated an arc from the insecure guy living in the past to becoming the true monster his father wants him to be, and we got to see that. And all it took was a bunch of meth and a serial killer. That's all it was. And we got there in the end. So I enjoyed that. That was great fun. It was a lot of fun. It's a really cool adventure generally. I really like the whole slasher, sort of summer camp horror sort of vibe to it. And the fact that the worst deaths in the whole thing were caused by us.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
We did that.
The monsters were us the whole time. I love it.
Absolutely.
yeah.
True horror.
I think slightly higher, certainly on the scumbag scale, though I did love that Matt dropped his character motivation and backstory into the Discord chat for us all. Matt, tell people about how you loved abandoning us, and also where to find you on the internet if they want to.
Yeah. I'm Matt Umland. I wrote Echoes in the Graveyard, and I'm doing stuff for Hullbreach, and wrote some things for that. And you can find me at itch.io, mattumland.itch.io. And so my motivation was self-preservation and to find secrets and to turn secrets into profit. And I really tried to make that. I felt like, I did the math. I'm very advanced Android with mathematics skills. So I feel like at the end of the day, I knew that the best chance I had was to try to get back to the ship. There was no way this generator plan was going to work. And it was so fun. I think one of my favorite parts about the adventure is the way that it really did map out a really solid story arc that felt so much like a slasher. With the initial sort of like there's a couple of like false scares every now and then, and the initial introduction of the slasher, and the way it all kind of went down, it just felt perfect. And I think partially that's a credit to the really excellent adventure, but also to Ian, who did a great job running it as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
And then the worst of us all. No, I'm just kidding. Ian, tell us what it was like to run Vibe Shetty. And also, if you and Leon want to give us a peek behind anything right now, that's a great time to add that in also too. But what was it like to run the adventure?
I'm just taking a note on, because this is effectively a playtest for this, because we're still, it's basically done, but why not tweak it a little bit more here? It was really good. So I was tracking based on some things that you were doing, both NPCs dying off screen and when the killer would ambush you. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this adventure, including a fake out killer, a copycat killer, but then there's the real killer, which I think in like a 2-hour game is like not quite enough time to build that. So I kind of think I might suggest to Joel that we add a note that's just like, for a one shot, just leave it to one killer. But if you want more of like a 2 or 3 session long, like slow burn game, like that extra element is cool. I thought it was a great adventure. I mean, I think that like the locations are all memorable and strong. Like the sense of place is really good. Like there's a lot of like cool description that I can play off and use. I like that it is the map. The map is gorgeous. I popped
it up a couple times on screen for people to be able to see.
The map
so
is
good.
The map is fantastic, and it's like very easy to track everything that's going on. There's a lot of like cool tools peppered around. Like I like that it arms you with very little stuff if you're doing this one-shot approach with these pre-gen characters. Like you guys had very few items of use, but there's like lots of good little survival horror-y things here and there that you can pick up and utilize. I don't know. I thought it was fun. It was good. A good time.
So Liam faced off at the end there, crit succeeded, and then just found his way to the pod, not knowing that we had all come up with another plan, or what happened there?
My thinking was like, I'm bleeding out. I've just killed the big bad guy. I've used a vibro shitty, so I can't save his thing. So, I mean, I can't save the suit, so I guess I'd be trying to get out. I'm going to die. I could go try and find you guys, but nah, I'd have to go find a cryopod. That was my thinking. It was 100% it.
I love it.
Just got to get out.
I love it. It was awesome. I like I said, it's such a great ending, and those back and forths and how we each usually get in each other's way and horror things, I think played true to theme. I loved it. A couple questions in the chat real quick, and then we'll all hop off. Somebody wants to know if we'll see any more modules like a Pound of Flesh or something with an amazingly fleshed out space station city. I'm going to throw that one to Matt, since Matt already responded in chat. Matt, do you want to tell us about what people can expect as far as that kind of stuff goes?
Yeah. Well, Hullbreach has a really wide array of different kinds of articles that cover a lot of different types of resources that you might use in your game, and including places like locations. Some of them are articles that feature locations, and some are basically articles that are there to help you have a really cool location. And there's definitely some. We've already talked a lot about some of the specifics, so we got to save some of the stuff for But there's definitely some very cool locations, and it's specifically like a space community that I think is a really cool take on that, and I think it'll be a really cool addition to any game.
Awesome.
I just want to add on to that there are multiple A Pound of Flesh like hub locations that you would use as like the center point of a campaign.
Awesome. And then I think I'll just throw this out to the group if anybody wants to mention it. Favorite new thing for players or wardens about first edition. So transfer over from first edition to from 0th edition to first edition. I actually really like. I mean, I'll just say this. I'm not one of y'all, but I will say this. This time around, I got a better sense of how hits versus wounds worked, and I really do like it. Like I knew I would. Sean's rationale, the way he's explained it every time I've heard it, has been solid. This was the first time I got to really experience that in play, and it was a really fun experience of hitting those limits and then figuring out what that specifically does. Felt really solid, especially in a game like this. I thought it sung really, really well. And so, but anybody else, what are some of your favorite changes for players or wardens? Let's go to Liam if you've got one.
Yeah, I just want to agree with what you just said, really. Back when we reviewed this game on my podcast, one of the very few criticisms we had was the way you've got these health pools and the way damage worked. It didn't really feel as scary or as deadly as a horror game should. And that being fixed 100%, like this. What more could you want, really? You know. So yeah, I'm vibing it. I'm liking it even more. Yeah, awesome. Absolutely.
Emily, any thoughts on what you like about 1E?
Mostly that, but also the way that panic is done now is, I think, just a lot smoother than it was before. And it's pretty scary to sit at 20 stress. I've been at 20 stress for like the past 2 hours. But I didn't feel like I'm going to instantly die, because if you roll low on your 20, even then you take that panic result. So I'm not going to instantly have a heart attack. So
yeah, awesome.
Happy about that.
Matt, anything y'all want to toss in as far as things you really love about the new first edition system?
I sort of slipped into my old 0E ways and just handed out a lot of additional stress, but hypothetically, once I get more used to running 1E, and I think this is also maybe more true for a long campaign thing, I like that there is less pressure to remember to call for saves and stress, because it just happens automatically whenever you're failing rolls. Yeah. So for me, that was like one of the things that about 0E Mothership that I think was just like just an additional mental load that made running games a little bit harder. And I think that putting that onto the players just makes running the game a lot easier.
Awesome. Cool. Matt, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I really like, in my personal Mothership game, we tend to do like theater of the mind combat and a lot of theater of the mind stuff. And I think that the sort of updated approach to how ranges work really feels like it streamlines that. And it kind of just takes a lot of guesswork out, because rather than having to think in like really concrete spaces, you can just be like close, you know? And I think that it kind of is in that same vein of really, really just like Mothership in general, really trying to streamline as much of that stuff.
Awesome.
I really like that. And everything else that everybody else said. I mean, I think those are all really great improvements. But
yeah, love it. I had a blast playing. Again, I want to remind people, you can go check all this out over at ttrpg.link /hullbreach. The project is funded very, very well. Congratulations to all of y'all and the entire team. But there's plenty of campaign left to go. Is there anything that y'all are really hoping you're going to get to add? Ian, I'm going to throw this kind of to you as kind of the final thing. As you guys continue to move forward in the campaign, is there like a big goal you're really excited about?
Yeah, we have 2 left that we've revealed. One of them I think is really cool. It's a bookmark mini dungeon, which is like, it's going to be a rectangular bookmark. One side is this fantastic dungeon art by Rock Romero, and the other side is going to be keys for it. So it's like, I like putting usable content into every like square inch of everything. So, you know, when we're thinking about adding something, it's like, okay, how do we make this not just a thing to use, but also like game material?
Awesome.
So I'm excited about that.
Love it. I want to encourage people again to go check it out if you haven't already. Back it, even at any level. If you can't back it for whatever reason, the best thing you can do to help any active funding campaign is just share it with people who you know might on social media. Tweet it out, put it out on Facebook. Grab shots, put them up on Instagram. Tag the creators, not just those of the game, but the actual artists themselves. If you do, please, and just let people know that the campaign is up and live and that you're excited about it. With all that said, we've got a couple things coming up I'd love you to be excited about. Tomorrow afternoon, we are playing Aberrant Reflections, which is a Zelda and Metrovania inspired kind of OSR classic dungeon crawling experience. It's a puzzle dungeon. You can join us right back here for any of that or catch it on our YouTube channel afterwards. Also, right now, we are itch funding Through the Void, which is our space RPG. It is not a horror RPG, but it is a dungeon crawler. All the mechanics are player facing. If you love the minimalist design and lethality of Mothership, you'll probably enjoy Through the Void. You can also become a content champion just by supporting us over at Ko-fi.com. There's links for all of that stuff down below. You can find the links to the game over at our games on itch. But with that said, I had a blast playing. Thank you all so much for taking some time on your Saturday or early morning Sunday to come join us. But until next time, we're just going to all wave at the stream until I take us offline. Bye, everybody.